Create an endless loop. How are you kids doing? So I'm tearing apart an old Asus laptop. That's what I was doing in the picture. Boy, do you remember back in the day when they made computers serviceable? Look at this thing. So CPU right there, GPU right there, one hard drive bay, two hard drive bays, accessible just under normal things. Battery was right there. All the RAM slots are right there. Literally, this whole computer can be upgraded without tearing it apart. But I'm still going to tear it apart because it needs to be cleaned because, oh my God, don't smoke, assholes. This is what smoking does to your shiz. All your electronic components in your house look like this inside. That's all cigarette smoke, tar. Literally makes me want to vomit. And that's not a figurative vomit. It's not like I've been doing. That's a literal. Like, hold on. That's what smoking does to electronics. This is why when people bring me stuff like this, I pay them nothing. That is literally tar. And I've already cleaned this once, but this is the stuff that fell out of the keyboard. So this is just freaking gross. Don't smoke. Otherwise, you get pennies on the dollar for your stuff. Needless to say, I only paid $7. It's a first generation ROG laptop, and I will get it cleaned out. But that's just gross. You know, I paid $7 for it. It's worth about $150 once I get it cleaned up because these make excellent old Windows XP and 7, not XP, but Windows 7 machines because they can run all the stuff that modern computers actually can't. No flux capacitor. Not today, none yet. So anyways, we'll see how long I can go tonight. I have some water and an apple. But yeah, I literally... we still haven't figured anything out, so we're doing a lot of stuff. If you follow on the Facebook page, you'll see that I put down that I'm not going to be open to the public for a few days. Might be longer, all depending. I actually have to get a heart monitor and wear that for a few days. I have to get what's called a tilt table test so they can see if I'm losing consciousness due to rapid changes in blood pressure from standing up. Also, we're going to be doing an MRI with contrast, so we're doing all kinds of tests. And yeah, needless to say, that shit is expensive. So go to Win City Armory. The website will be up Monday morning, so a couple of days later than I planned. But Daniel got it all put together. I'm sending him all the pictures tomorrow. We're going to put them all up, and then it'll have links to the Facebook page. It'll have links to my YouTube channel. It'll have all the links that we need. So then people can just kind of come hang out. You can buy stuff. It'll mostly just be the used guns because next week I still have to meet with or have a video conference again with Gearfire so that they can talk me into onboarding it onto the system. And yes, I did shave as well as get a haircut. So your back living room was a cigar spot for the people we bought it from. Yeah, that sucks, man. It sucks because I know that this could cause me breathing problems because the loose tar when you're cleaning shiz is just terrible, man. So literally, it's going to be a cool-ass laptop, but I got to get a keyboard for it. I've already tested that it works, but you can see somebody busted the keyboard out on it. So I got to put a new keyboard in it. But I spent $40 because right now the electronic side is still paying for this building that I'm in. So I paid $40. I picked up a HP 360 convertible, you know, one of those ones that can be turned into a tablet, as well as a basic laptop. And, you know, those were $7 a piece as well. Picked up some stuff tonight, stuff that I can flip and make some money on. So you shave too, just not your head. Ah, we're thinking alike. DB. I'm fuzzy everywhere. Hey Scott, how you doing tonight? So this is why I like older tech, by the way. Thank you, Stone. Stonehaven, for letting me know this would still work, because I didn't realize it would with this style of key. But if you have an older Ford and your key fob dies and you don't want to worry about programming that shiz, because this key needs to be programmed at the dealership. This key fob was 12 bucks for 2 of them, and it works because it's the older school Ford. It's a 2014 Navigator, so even though it's got the 6-speed auto, it's got the older technology for the security system and shiz. So this was able to program the locks, and even the rear tailgate works. So thank you, Stone. Appreciate that. On to gun news. Haven't done shit. So right now I'm just spending more money than I'm bringing in, and I'm going to stop with that for a little while as too. My medication is insanely expensive, so rather than being able to pick up a couple of Glocks and a couple other things, I had to pay for meds. Prescription that my doctor put me on was $800 with my insurance for a 30-day supply. So that sucked. Hey, Zaxxon, what's up? Yes, you did, Stone. I wanted to believe you, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad it worked, dude. Thank you. I'm still going to get you to make me a couple of these keys. But it is a Luger. Tonight is the day where everything is whatever you said it was. What was I going to put? Oh, so if you guys want to help out a dumbass, that would be me, to help me pay for meds, you can. Well, technically I already paid for the meds, but if you guys want to help me pay for guns for the store, I'd appreciate it. So I'm going to have a used gun section, but I'm also going to have an accessory section. So I think that'll be a good thing to do. So it's going to be like if I buy EOTechs or good optics, bad optics, whatever. But that way I don't have to use eBay. I'll be able to do it that way. So until Gearfire gets set up, though, I'm probably going to have to do invoice billing, where somebody just orders something and then I would just send them an invoice and then they can pay me through my credit card receiver. So you're really a 3'2" with grotesquely long arms. Yes. You got a few of the remote head keys. Yeah, so one thing I'm going to do once I get a new key from you is I'm going to put my old Mustang key back on it, because I still have my old Mustang keys. I always get extra keys made for my cars, and then I never give both keys, especially if I buy the vehicle and it didn't have both keys. Airmax, what is going on? I'm actually feeling okay right now, so we'll see how long that lasts. I have the overhead light on, so it is causing a big glare there, but I don't know if that's helping me. But also, I spent a few hours today sleeping and laying down to try to avoid the vertigo, which has been kicking the shiz out of me, which I don't like. And I am the world's tallest midget at slightly over 5 feet 16 inches tall. Also, you want to see what 16-year-old thermal paste looks like? So thermal paste comes out like toothpaste. This was what was cooling the CPU on this thing. That was the cooling solution. My knife barely touched it. So that's what happens when cooling paste becomes old enough to drive. Also, don't freaking smoke, people. That's gross. That's on the exhaust side. So you realize that got sucked in through the side of the computer, circled around, and blown out the back of the computer. That is gross. Don't smoke. Anyway, how you guys doing? Oh, yeah. That's all tar on that hard drive. That's really good for spinning hard drives. You know what we do with those, though? I got the disk for a shot. That is data securely destroyed. Shattered the platter. Platter shatter. What's the guy on the bottom row? Looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. It does look like that, but it actually was in a John Wick movie. Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of the top one. The bottom one is a Tanfoglio Appeal. It's a 22 caliber bullpup rifle. So it's actually got a full 16-inch barrel. It's a bullpup. It's for sale. It'll go on the internet here soon. You could say guy or gun. I get it. You keep saying it. Subs. He's our host. Yes, I'm your host, and I just stabbed a hard drive with my kitchen scissors over and over. I'm not dangerous. Anyway, if I stop moving my head, I can feel it coming on. Any. What else we got going on? So a couple of people came in this week and picked up some guns, so that's cool. A couple of them, you can notice a couple of them are gone. As the wall shrinks in number, that's because I've actually sold a few guns, so that's good. Getting the name out there, sold some ammo, things like that, a couple of accessories. That's how I want it to go, so that's good. So once the website is up, I hope that will actually change a lot of things because that'll allow people to see everything. And most of those guns have a video on them too, so. It's the Thumbhole stock. It's a Tanfoglio Appeal. Last time you spun something on your finger, a glass shelf broke, just saying. Yeah, but that was a Prodigy. It didn't count. Good day. Am I feeling better? I'm in a position right this moment where I don't want to pass out. So I'm going to roll with it as long as I can today. I've already had 2 experiences today of massive vertigo, but right now I'm feeling okay. So I'm just we're going to keep going. Look at that tar. I wonder why his electronics weren't working right. This is something I deal with all the time. So I'll buy stuff for pennies on the dollar because it looks like this. I'll spend a few hours cleaning it. Like that laptop I paid $7 for. I'll sell it for $150 when I'm done. Positive energy your way. Thank you, sir. I'm trying not to read too much either. So, anywho, come on in. Ask me questions. We talk about things. That's not a Luger. It is a synthetic copy of a Ruger. So, not a Luger. If you have any questions, throw them out there. Any comments, throw them out there. Any questions, throw them out there. I like to answer stuff for you. I like to be there for you. Dave, how you doing? Are you going to do online orders? Yes, 100%. So Gearfire is the firearms processor that I'm going to be going with for new guns and stuff like that. I have to talk to them, see if they'll process my used gun sales. Otherwise, I have a secondary credit card processor that I can do online sales with. So I will be able to handle transactions either way. We can do it over the phone, etc. For used guns, accessories. I can just mail those out after payments made. But the good news is with Gearfire, you'll be able to see all my distributor inventory for any company that I have access to firearms. You'll be able to see the guns and ammo and stuff like that, and then you can have them shipped directly to your FFL. They don't have to come through me. Right now, if somebody orders something, it's got to come to my shop first, and then I send it out. For handguns, it's not a big deal because distributors are required to send 2-day air when they ship a gun. For a handgun, long guns don't fall under that actual purview, probably because of size constraints, things like that. And then I would have to turn around and send them. So it takes about a week when you order a gun directly from me. Once I have Gearfire set up, it will literally drop ship from a distributor to your local FFL. Do I deal in exotic turtles? I dealt with some ninja ones for a little while, but they kept fighting me over being in captivity, so I had to let them go. You need a brace for your Suzuki Scorpion. I'll look it up and I'll send you some links. You've got access, dude. Just look it up. Should be an RSR. RSR should give you the best one. I think Iron Valley's got a few choices for you too, dude. I got to finish setting up with Sport South. Sport South is a big one. Their prices aren't the greatest, but they do have availability of a lot of things. And then I'm set up with all the other major distributors. So you not only need a brace, you need ammo and shiz. But yeah, and then cool thing we'll be doing, ship it to McManus Stone. He'll get the right size. Yeah, right. So the cool thing also is going to be that every couple of weeks I'll do a different discount code based on a video that I put up on the YouTube side, the long form side. So all you people that want to join in on that stuff, you got to become subscribers and stuff like that. If you are an enthusiast and you are looking to purchase, add, get rid of whatever, you'll have to watch a video, and at some point in that video I will give a discount code for the online store, 10 to 15% off of everything, kind of a thing. Iron Valley does. Look at Iron Valley, and we'll see what we can do. Hey, Dreadhead. Hope you're feeling a little bit better. A little bit, Don. Thank you for saying. We're not allowed guns in the UK unless you jump through hoops with licenses, training, and being part of a gun club. Yeah, unfortunately, you guys got boned, and you drug Canada down with you, which is kind of sad. But I will say that you guys over there with the steel BBs, the 4.5 millimeter or 0.177 up to 0.22, whatever, you guys have one of the best markets for BB guns or air guns. BB guns in America, we call everything a BB gun. But for people that aren't into the sport, a BB gun typically in the United States refers to a 6 millimeter airsoft gun with a plastic BB. A air gun, just calling it an air gun, is usually a steel BB or pellet gun, and that's typically .177 caliber here. Hey, Paul, thank you. Do you sell tanks? Legally, I could. Are you set up for red dots? I need a couple. Yeah, just let me know which one. Send me an email or a text, brother, and I'll tell you what I can get for you. Why was I in the hospital? I am suffering from some kind of malady, condition, infection, brain, whatever. We don't know yet. We're still trying to figure it out. That's causing me to suffer massive vertigo attacks. And vertigo isn't even really the right term. I'm going to break something down for you. All my friends that drink and people that have ever bombed themselves at a party might know exactly what I'm talking about. In the moments that I'm experiencing the massive dizziness, fainting, whatever, passing outness that I'm suffering through, I'm literally fully conscious of it as I'm passing out. So it's kind of like when you're right at the edge of being completely blasted, but you're still conscious. That's what I'm feeling. Vertigo is more of a spinning feeling and can't keep your balance feeling. Literally what I'm experiencing are fainting spells. So I'm like a little wuss. Good BB rifles cost a bunch. They do here too, man. We sell air guns or air rifles that are, anywhere from $350 to $1,500, but some of them can be as fast as 3,500 feet per second for not 3,500, excuse me, 2,500 feet per second for some of the super fast ones. Stay strong. Thank you. Hey Dusty, what's going on? Just waiting for people to come in here and start talking too. So like I said, right this moment I'm feeling all right. I was feeling a little so I'm sorry to hear that, GS. Ms. What a Glock. To be more specific, my friends. You're talking about the black one and right there? No, that is a PSA dagger. How do I like the Taurus? PAT 111 G2 was your first gun. I like the Taurus lineup. They are slight hit and miss sometimes when it comes to quality. Now, I sold them the whole time I've been working at gun stores. I've seen 2 have mechanical failures out of the box, but I probably sold several hundred. So the attrition rate isn't the worst, but still it's kind of a bummer to get a brand new gun in from a distributor and have to send it back. Although I had to do that with a Springfield and a Colt immediately too. So it's not like they can't be bad at all. So the quality control is better than it used to be, but it's still not 100%. No, there is no Glock up there. So envious of your Second Amendment. You can always emigrate. Emigrate here, emigrate from where you came from. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah. Also, happy Valentine's Day to all my lonely forks who are sitting here on Valentine's Day. Your mother's suffering the same thing. Sorry to hear that, Carlos. What is the gun on the bottom? That's Tanfoglio Appeal 22 long rifle. Mine had the FTE trigger spring broke. Failure to eject eventually too, but for 180 bucks. Yeah, 180 bucks makes them run for a while. How much of a difference did the butt pad make on the KS7? Not as much as you would hope. I fired them straight out of the box, and you know it's barely. Okay, it's a lie. It's a little bit better, but it's still not comfortable to shoot. It's not a gun that I want to shoot all day long. Hey, barbecue. Why you have guns? Why not have guns? You look super stoned. I feel super stoned. I wish I was super stoned. Then I wouldn't feel like crap. Wagyu steak. Oh man, Stone is the man. If you ever become good friends with Stone like I did, and he invites you to eat at his house, say yes. Him, his dad, them's peoples knows how to cook me some food, and they cook red meat. Are my guns all American made? Europe makes some good equipment. No. In fact, that is a Tanfoglio, so that's Italian. Let's see. That's a T-Sauce. So that's made in Turkey. That is a Taurus, so it's made in Brazil. Oh, shit, that might fall over. Taurus, that's a Ruger, so that's made here. That's a PSA Dagger, so that's made in a sweatshop that they claim is America. And that is a Ramline Syntec. So those two are American made, and the Keltec are. Yeah. And I'm a really big fan of CZ pistols. How many guns do you own? I don't know. It's less than I used to because I've sold a few. Springfield XD Mod 3, can it survive the 50,000 round NATO test? Has any gun actually survived without a failure? I know Glock went really hard, but I thought they had failures at around the 15 to 20,000 round mark. It's a company on eBay that sells a machine aluminum adapter for a full-size pack miler decelerator butt pad. For $110. That's like almost a quarter of the value of the gun, though. I don't know if I would recommend, unless you're planning on shooting a lot of rounds through it. Like that has an additional muzzle brake and different hand grip on it and stuff like that. But I don't recommend dropping a lot of money into a Keltec product. What kind of gun do I have framed up? The one in the frame is a non-firing replica of a Winchester Model 1886. It doesn't work, but it just looks cool in the frame. And I feel it. What do I think of the Army M17 pistol? I like the 320 platform. I think the M17 pistol is just, it's all right. The M17 pistol is nothing more than a 320 full size with an optics cut. It's not even an X full. It has the standard curved trigger in it, which I don't actually like. I have a SIG 320 X5 Legion that I love, and it has the Armory. I put in Armory Craft dual adjustable trigger in it, but even the X trigger that's in the standard Legion is way better than the standard M17 trigger. I believe Taurus has a Georgia plant. Yes, Bainbridge. And the G3 line is made in Bainbridge, so you are right. The G3 up there is made locally or in the U.S., and the one up top is from not here. No, that's the old Ramline Syntec, Barnes. How long did it take you to feel better from the one chip? Honestly, the chip was the least of my problems that night. I'm sure that the capsaicin and all the other stuff in the chip, it might have made my body kind of go overboard with the reaction that I had. But in terms of heat, I think 5 minutes after I ate the chip, they said I lasted 8 minutes before I couldn't stand up anymore because of the dizziness was being exacerbated. But in terms of the heat, I was fine within 5 minutes. SIG 229Rs and 40 are on the market. Yeah, you can get one of those and get the 357 SIG drop-in barrels too. Hello, how are you on your own gun shop now? Yes, I do have my own gun shop. Am I Army? No, I am not. I've been looking to get a cheapest 357 like a tracker. Any suggestions? Yes, this is going to be an option for you that I don't know if you've considered yet. The EAA Windicator, 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 is a 357 Magnum that is available in 4 and 6 inch, both blued and stainless. And it's around $400, and it's an amazing gun. I have one with over 8,000 rounds through it, and it's still timed. It still functions great, and it's actually an EAA. It's from overseas, I think Italy. I'm not 100% sure who the manufacturer is these days. I really like the size and weight of the KS7, but the overall shooting experience is abysmal. I've never had a shotgun with recoil that sharp. Yeah, no, I prefer my 930 Tactical. I have a 930 Tactical semi-auto, and that's all I need. What are your thoughts on people making guns using computer printing machines? It's a long way of writing it, Carlos, but in terms of 3D printed guns, if you want to manufacture just because you like to iterate and try things, that's fine. People that claim they do it because they don't want to be on a registry, they're stupid because there is no registry in the United States. But the biggest problem you have, Glock, and I'm not a big fan of Glock. Glocks are boring. But Glock spends millions and millions of dollars in development, even though they produce the same goddamn gun every year. So every iteration of a Glock has been the same since the beginning. But they keep changing little things, and then they invest millions of dollars into their development. Whereas some of these Nimrods are downloading plans for a 3D printed Glock frame. That's fine. Whatever. Gen 3 frame. That's fine. You know, a lot of people improve on the grips. And I'm not opposed to that, but then they use standard PLA to print them out, and they wonder why their shit breaks. Do you think there's a major difference between the Springfield Hellcat versus Hellcat Pro? I'm thinking about getting the regular Hellcat for CCW. If you're looking for, no, I call it the Windicator. It's spelled Windicator. I'm American. We dispronounce things, DB. The Hellcat and Hellcat Pro, the difference between that is just like a 365 and a 365 XL. There is a very big difference in the lengths and the capacities of them. So the Hellcat is better for concealability. The Hellcat Pro is for shootability. Why is the Gen 3 patent up but not the rest? Because patents last roughly 30 years. So you can apply for an extension. I believe it's 28 plus 4 or some shit like that. But basically at 30 years, a patent is up. It's different from an IP. Like Walt Disney created a situation where he kept ramming through all of these IP protections and copyrights. A copyright lasts, the life of the creator plus 15 years or something, shit like that. So it winds up being like 105 years or something like that. It's something crazy. It's over 100 years. That's why Mickey Mouse or Steamboat Willie just went into public domain, which is why all those horror movies came out. No, I'm not a gunsmith, Manuel. I can work on firearms. I can do maintenance on firearms. I can do installs of parts and things like that, but I am not a gunsmith. I don't have a lathe. I have a guy, a local friend of mine. He actually has a YouTube channel as well. It's called Adventures in Kalashnikov, if you look him up. He does AK builds that are out of this world. He's so good that he has over a 1-year backlog right now of work, so you're not getting into him anytime soon. But he has several employees, and they do other gunsmithing work, so he's going to be my gunsmith guy. Kimber firearms rule, especially now that they're down at a price point that's more available to the regular person. I agree. What do I think of the Zastava ZPAP M70? They're fine. I had one. When I was every day working at a gun store, I used to go through a lot of different guns. It's probably one of the better ones out there. Is SDI a waste of time and money? No, I don't believe it is. I think that it's not enough. We've talked about this before. They were heavily pushing themselves as online only during COVID. That's the wrong thing to do. SDI, just like UTI and UDI or SDI, whatever the other companies that taught you how to be a diesel tech and shiz, if you have in-person training, that makes more of a difference. But at least SDI can give you a lot of the basic information, stuff that you would normally be Googling on YouTube. Honestly, you could probably get the same education with Google and YouTube that SDI provides until it comes time for the hands-on experience. So I've done the Glock Armory class, the Smith & Wesson, and the, come on, brain. Springfield, excuse me. So I've done those armory classes, and if I had just watched online stuff, I could have still done it because I'm mechanically inclined. But at least it gives you an idea. How's the shop coming? The shop is basically done. The main thing I need is inventory, but health and other things are coming up. So I'm not in a good position right now. So I'm just selling through what I got and just replacing what I sell. What's the best build, AK-47 or an M16? They're two completely different platforms that shoot different rounds for different reasons, my friend. An AR-15 or an M16 is going to be more accurate over longer distances, but an AK shooting a 124 grain, usually a solid projectile, usually a full metal jacket projectile at 25 to 2600 feet per second can do a lot of damage. So do I have a favorite carry right now? Yeah, my Springfield Operator or my Para Ordnance Black Ops, both 1911s. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Mountain Man. I appreciate that. We'll see how I'm feeling. Like I said, right now, I feel it kind of like back here. I feel a little bit nauseous, but I'm feeling better than I have all day, which I'm happy about. So what's my thoughts on a Rock Island 1911? The Rock Island 1911s are probably my go-to if you're looking to get into them. I do work with Girsan, and I've done a few reviews on some of their stuff. I have their Influencer X 1911. And they're actually sending me the new 2311 Match X. But I still think Rock Island is one of the hardest companies to beat in terms of their entry-level semi-featured guns. They're very similar in cost to the Girsan or the TSOS, but I believe they've built more guns, more 1911s than any other manufacturer. They build more 1911s than any other manufacturer, and I believe their quality control is better because, yes, they're out of the Philippines, but they own the factories, they own the production. They're not just putting a different name on a gun that they bought. So, TPR 380. I don't have any experience with that one. Nice, love your knowledge. Salute to you, soldier. Not a soldier, was never in the military, but I do appreciate that you would say that. Thank you, sir. What round do you carry? Since I'm carrying 1911s right now, that's been mostly just 45 ACP, but a couple of the 1911s I've been carrying, like when I carry the Influencer X, it's in 9mm because I wanted the 9mm version. I already had a 45 with a full dust cover. So you just bought the Rock Island 1911 A1. Good choice. A1s are nice because they already have a lot of the stuff on them that you want. So Springfield and Car Arms make an original style clone, but I like the A1 better because it's got all the finger grooves. If you look at an original 1911 to 1927, I think are the years, the original 1911s, there's no chamfer around the trigger guard, so when your hand's reaching in, it's a sharper edge. The ejection port is higher on a first generation 1911. The sights are shittier. One benefit to an original though is that they have a flat mainspring housing where the A1s have a raised, which I don't care for. Yeah, I don't stream gaming, brother. Sorry. What do you think of the elephant gun for home defense? Double 700 grain bullets. You do what you got to do, son. But you could actually, if you really wanted to, Manuel, if you just get a Smith & Wesson 500 and you get hard cast rounds, you can get 700 grain hard cast. Is a 9mm 1911 you carry single stack still? Yes. So you could carry a 2011 style or a 2311 from Girsan, and they are sending me their Match X, and I'm actually going to compare those two directly, and I'm also going to compare their Match X, which is about a $1,400 gun. I'm going to compare it to the SDI Grandmaster, which is a $4,000 gun, to see how it holds up. But yes, I do carry single stacks mostly. They fit really nice. They're usually about an inch thick. They're actually thinner than a Glock 48. I've actually used the Schema Glock 48 holster for my 1911s. So, do I have a Glock 18C? No, I don't have an SOT license, and the Glock 18C is not legal for private ownership in the United States. Over 60 people in here, no bueno. All right, so I'm going to ask you right now if you guys can do me a big favor. Just hit the like button. I'm not asking you for money. If you want to donate, that's on you guys. If you want to get your voice heard, donations get you to the front of the line. I don't care. But hitting the like button, what that does for me and my channel is it allows me to show to YouTube, haha, taking away one, great, is that YouTube and Google can promote my channel more. So firearms are heavily regulated on YouTube in terms of what they allow. If I put the word AR-15 or Glock in my title, they'll automatically demonetize it because they're a bunch of a-holes. But when you guys hit the like buttons on these streams and subscribing to the channel, what that does is it shows that there is a viewership for firearms, and that means that more attention can be given to me by Google. When I have low viewer interaction, then they tend to shadow ban the channel, and then all of a sudden I don't get seen by anybody, and that's bullcrap. It's true the prosecutors are starting to make the 40 cal round an eagle round in self-defense case. I haven't heard that, and I don't know why they would. That's what's the cap like on 9mm mags. Usually a 10 rounder will fit flush into a standard 9mm. So I hadn't heard about that, Barnes, but that's a weird thing that they would go after. I think the reason they're doing that is because a lot of low-priced handguns that are floating around in pawn shops and places like that are 40 caliber, because a lot of people bought Glock 27s because they're idiots, or Glock 22s. Because they're idiots and thought that they were getting something cool, and then they sell it to a pawn shop for $150 because they realized they bought a 40 cal. Just subscribe. Thank you, Lucas. What is the Glock 18C and why can't I own one privately? The Glock 18C is the fully automatic Glock. It's the originator of the Glock switch. However, unlike the I want to say unregulated, but the impossible to regulate Glock switch that you see nowadays, that's something completely different. The original Glock 18C is a select fire handgun with the switch on the side of it, and it's capable of firing in full auto. That platform, that style of gun, using the short tilting locking action recoil system and the pre-cocked striker system that Glock uses, is very adaptable to full auto fire. It's not as fast as an open bolt, obviously, but it's a very, very capable system for adding select fire to. But it's illegal since 1986 to own anything newer than 1986 in a full auto, and the Glock 18C came out after that. What if I put incel in the title? I don't know. Let's see. We should be. You would think. And some streams it goes crazy, and I don't know why. Some streams it doesn't. I'm just trying to be chill, not cuss too much. I watch some of your shorts. Let's get some revolvers in that store. Yeah, well, right now my in-store inventory mainly consists of my private collection, and I'm not selling most of the revolvers in my private collection. So the only one that I will be selling, and I'll be putting it up on the up for sale on the website, is probably my Smith & Wesson 460X VR, which is the X-frame, same as a 500 Smith & Wesson. Because I bought that one just because it was an incredible price, but I don't shoot it, so that one's going to go away. You seem like a big dude. I'm okay. I'm like 5'16". Was the Glock 17 also fully auto? No. So I'm going to I'll give you a breakdown on how Glock names their stuff. They're idiots. But the longer explanation is Glock issues a number for their firearms based on the number in sequence that they achieved a patent for that firearm. So a Glock 17 was the 17th gun that they got their own patent for. So that doesn't mean that the patent number is 17, because that's not true. But that's why, as you look at guns coming out from the Glock manufacturer right now, the number keeps going up. 47, 49, 48. You know, that is because those are the iterations and the new patents that they filed. My favorite dent head, are you going to get the 50 series GPU? At some point I will. I'm not paying $2,000 for a GPU that can be outmatched by a $600 one. So right now, no. I would put the word launcher in replace of gun. I can't do that either. I'm not going to do that. What's the Automag pistol looking thing on the wall? The Automag pistol is actually the Ramline Syntech. If you're talking about the one with the thin, long barrel on it, that is a Ramline Syntech 22 caliber long rifle clone. Mexican with the fathers. Best apples you can buy, Granny Smith's, motherfather. Granny Smith's. Screw your Golden Delicious. Granny Smith's. I'm allergic to apples, so if I'm going to eat an apple, I want it to be one that bites me back. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Wait, did I tune into a gun channel? Well, he's also messing with technology. Look, that's a heat sink. Boy says night night. Hey, boy, kick your dad in the shin. What's the best AR-15 for California that you recommend? Moving out of California. You guys have such stupid regulations on your rifles that I can't really tell you which one to have. I'm not allergic to everything. I'm just allergic to everything that people like. I'm not allergic to gluten. I'm not allergic to chocolate. Well, diabetes, I guess. But I don't have celiac. The MCX Rattler is like $1,300. Yeah, and it's one of those things you really need to like the gun to spend that kind of money on one. I don't see the money on that. I would buy something like a Strybog SP9A3 because those are about $1,000 and they probably will outrun it. I have the M&P Sport 2, Cali compliant, and St. Victor AR-10, both run fine. Oh, that's right, you're in California. I'm not allergic to escargot. No, it tasted like sand. Good memory, Logan. I just detest it. Ow. Ow. That was my jaw popping. You saw a device you could put on Glock by the hammer that makes it full auto, but if it catches you, you'll spend a long time in jail. But why can you not own full auto guns? In the United States here, Manuel, you cannot manufacture your own full auto firearms. You cannot own one that was built after 1986 currently in the United States, unless you are an SOT, Special Operations, or Special Occupational Tax stamp holder, and a 0702, which is a manufacturer of firearms license. Then you can have them for display or what are called post samples. Otherwise, you cannot own a full auto firearm unless it is pre-1986 and you have a $200 tax stamp that says you're legally allowed to own it. Hello, Zana. So yeah, here's the deal. People that think not owning a machine gun is a withholding of a right for an American citizen. Number one, if you have to do a background check when you buy a gun per current rules. So as long as you can pass a background check, you can get a full auto gun. They're just very expensive. But once you fire a drum mag out of a Thompson and you have to sit and reload 100 rounds of 45 ACP into a Thompson machine gun mag, you will understand why full auto is just, eh. It's cool to own, it's cool to have, it's cool to show off once in a while, but it's so expensive to shoot. 100 rounds of 45, even ball nose, that is 2 full boxes. It's $40 for 30 seconds of fun. It's just not worth it. Do current and ex-military have the ability to own full auto? No. Again, you can, if you are current law enforcement, a lot of law enforcement agencies are allowed to have full auto firearms, but as an individual, no, you're not allowed to own a full auto unless you follow those rules that I laid out. Is that difficult to get all the licenses? No, as long as you don't have felonies in your background and you don't have domestic violence charges, things like that, and you live in one of the 41 states in the United States that allows you to own machine guns, then as long as you can pass the enhanced background check, you can get a machine gun, no problem. But the problem that arises from that is if you want a full auto M16, you're talking anywhere from $35,000 to $60,000, and MP5 anywhere from $30,000 to $70,000. So if you want a name brand frickin' full auto firearm, they're insanely expensive. Mac 10s are frickin', $9,000, $10,000, $11,000 for a Mac, which is just an open bolt piece of bent metal. Thoughts on what's going on in Colorado right now? If you're talking about the gun laws and all the restrictions that are being put into place, there's many states that are dealing with the same thing. It just sucks. Some ranges rent full autos if you want to scratch that itch without being married to it. Yeah, but that's super expensive. You got a rental, then you got to buy the ammo from them, and then, Jesus, it's crazy. That sucks, but whatever. Waiting pretty much half a year to actually get it back. Absolute retardism. If you do it without putting the gun into a trust, you can get your back. I have suppressor, and I'm getting more suppressor. Because I have suppressor, I know that if I do it through the e-file system, I'll probably get a return within a week because I don't put them into a trust. They're just privately owned by me. Yeah, if you do it in a trust now, they're taking a little bit longer on e-file, but as long as you e-file and you don't have shite in your background, you can get them in as little as 1 day. 3-round burst is the exact same thing. A 3-round burst is considered a machine gun in the eyes of the United States government. Anything that fires more than 1 round per action of the trigger. So FRTs, binaries, etc., those are not machine guns. A binary trigger fires when you pull the trigger and release the trigger. Those are technically separate actions. But if you pull the trigger and more than 1 round comes out of the firearm, that is considered a machine gun in the eyes of the United States government. How much is a pistol? Depends on what you're looking for. Sorry, that was loud. Back to the red drink, by the way. But in the United States, pistols can be as cheap as $60, $50. I've bought them as cheap as $40, all the way up to tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So just pistol is too vague of a term, my friend. The average is anywhere from $250 to $700, I'd say, is the average purchase price. Any thoughts on the super safeties and FRTs? Well, super safeties are slightly different from FRTs. Super safeties are, in the eyes of the government who's still prosecuting them, more of a machine gun. FRT won their lawsuit, actually. FRT, forced reset trigger, actually won their lawsuit because their trigger, unless it is tampered with, does not enable full auto fire. So the ones that were on YouTube for a while, and you can still find them because YouTube is full of nimrods that don't think they can be tracked, but the full auto FRTs were installed and modified. Love your knowledge. It's all right. How much is a Mosin Nagant? I haven't dealt with those since 2023, so I don't know what the market is doing now, but again, depending on condition, anywhere from a couple $100 to a couple of grand, depending on where it was built, the proof marks and everything on it. So your cheapest pistol was free and your most expensive you want is $6,500. Well, what do I think of 38 Special and 9mm? So 38 Special is a rimmed cartridge. It's designed for revolvers. 9mm is a standard autoloader cartridge. 9mm is my preference over 38 Special, just because if I'm going to shoot a revolver, it's going to be 357. What's enough? I don't know what's enough. How is a super safety not an FRT? It forces the trigger forward by the bolt. The super safeties, the way that they were marketed and sold, they were intentionally selling them, and then they were advising. Now, this is all speculation, but the reason why they got raided where FRT was just shut down, and the owners of Super Safeties were arrested, was because they were encouraging people to modify their product to make their guns full auto. It's the same reason that guy from CRS Firearms is in jail in Florida, because he sold the auto key card bottle opener, but then he showed you how to modify it to turn your AR-15 into a full auto gun. Its intention can be taken very seriously in United States courts. Also, when it comes to firearms and shiz, if they feel, this is speculation, but this is what I feel that they probably feel, that if they allow a product like that to stay on the market the way it was being marketed and the people it was being marketed to, that it could be viewed as a allowance of things such as Glock switches. Who the hell started manufacturing and selling Glock switches? And then all of a sudden they wound up on the market. So, they feel that they need to control everything. What gun make model pisses you off when you look at it? Glocks. What do you think about the Mossberg 88? The Mossberg 88 is fine. The Mossberg 88 is just a cheap Mossberg 500. It'll actually take most of the Mossberg 500's upgrade part, or most of the parts, so you can upgrade an 88. And you can buy a Maverick 88 for under $300 all day, sometimes as little as $200, especially if you buy them used, and then you can just upgrade them. What's the most reliable pistol in your opinion? I don't like giving my opinion on that because I prefer the 1911 platform to all other guns when it comes to ownership. Like if I have to own something, but it's a custom built gun. Like if I modify a gun to make it as reliable as I want to, then that becomes the most reliable handgun. So out of the box, it's hard to say. I'm not going to say Glock. Glock is reliable because they're trash builds. I showed it in the Dagger video because they're Glock clones. The reason a Glock is reliable is because they have horrendous tolerances. You can see from one side of the slide through to the other because they are so loose. And that's fine. For what they're designed for, that's fine. For how they're designed to work and the people that they want to own Glocks, that's fine. But what you're doing is accepting mediocrity and calling it perfection. And that's where I have a problem with Glock. It's the same thing with Mac. Dude, some of the Macs they sell are trash tier, but because they say Mac on them or they say Apple on them, people pay too much. Like the Mac Pro, when it came out, and it was $50,000 and every tech channel was able to beat that computer for $9,000 or less. It's just, yeah. Can't find that shit used that cheap in Florida. That's because everybody has one down there. Opinion on the Beretta. Berettas are fine. I like them. They're not my preferred gun. I don't like the slide-mounted safety. Helper, what's BS? That they're mediocrity and that's why they run? It's exactly why they run. If you ever pick up a Glock that had tolerances as tight as a 1911, it wouldn't run. It would jam more than a 1911. 100%. Who's the owner of Super Safeties when they get raided? They got raided, what, 2 years ago? Something like that? You'd have to look it up on Google, but they got raided and arrested. What about FN? FN is trash now, in my opinion. FN went full commercial with their product, but kept their prices too high. Kentucky Ballistics proved that out to me, or for me. So if you watch Kentucky Ballistics, he was doing a 10mm suppress video, and he had the FN 510, and he fired one round, and it snapped the trigger guard and the rail off the front of the 510. I've been saying since 2021, when the guns were introduced, that their plastic was crap, that they had cheapened out on the build of the gun by using inferior plastics with less reinforcements in them. So Glock has really good polymer. FN has shite polymer. It's not ballistically, it's not ballistic polymer in my opinion. It's not even fiberglass reinforced polymer. So the new guns, the FN 5 series, they're trash. I'll never own one. Even if somebody gave me one, I would sell it or trade it for something else. I would literally probably take a High Point over an FN 5 series. I love your thoughts on Glocks. All systems need to be upgraded, worked on. If you clear the upper tiers, blah, blah. Yep. No, I can't Pico, but if you search on my channel, there's a 5-minute video of me meowing. and it still worked. Not a good selling point, but I thought it was pretty neat. It did still work because what broke off was the dust cover, the rail, and the trigger guard. What stayed intact was the lock block and the other components. And the locking block is what the spring actually interacts with, not the lower part of the frame. The lower part of the frame is literally a dust cover. It's the same operating principle as if you took the top off of an AK-47. An AK-47 will work fine because the spring does not attach to the top of the AK. And the spring in an FN is not reliant on the lower part of the frame. Chris, I'm still getting warranty work done. It can take a long time, dude. Rock Island had my STK 100 that snapped the extractor. They had that for 5 months. So, what do I carry? Right now, it's between a Para Ordnance Black Ops 1911 and a Springfield Operator 1911. Although I'll probably be selling my Springfield. What's your favorite shotgun? Mossberg 930 Tactical. Hard to beat. What's my thoughts on the RXM? I need to order one, but things have come up, so I haven't ordered one yet. They are pretty interesting. I want to see how that removable fire control group works. And I'm waiting to see what other grip modules they come out with. But for $400, you got Ruger's name behind it and Magpul, so it's definitely worth a look. It's still a Gen 3 Glock, but the interchangeable grip thing is pretty interesting. Interesting. Also, the AK analogy is great. It's the simplest one I could come up with, and it's the most apropos because it's the exact same thing. Where do your eyes go? Well, I was trying to look at your mama, but her ass is so big that it caused me to look both ways at one time. Thoughts on the new Smith & Wesson 2.0? I have not heard a stinker come out of that line, and the performance trigger was the nicest I felt on a striker pistol. You hit it there. You need that performance trigger if you want to have a great one. The articulated trigger, I like it. The guns themselves are very, very, very strong contenders. If you're looking at a Glock, I would highly recommend looking at a Smith & Wesson first because dollar for dollar, you get more with the Smith & Wessons. Wilson Combat Firearms thoughts? They're fine. They're overpriced, and since they started building SIGs and stuff like that, they kind of diluted their brand a little bit. But they're still very high quality. Know anything about Citadel? Citadel is, I believe, now owned by Chiappa, but back in the day, Citadel was Armscor was the producer of all their 1911 guns. Their shotguns, I believe, all still come from Turkey. Is there a limit to how many guns you can own and also with ammo? No, there is not a limit. As much as you can afford in the United States. You're talking about Twin Bros, then they're not the owners. Hoffman Tactical. Selling Parker Jacks. People are selling super safeties. Okay. You are really, really on this super safety shit. And I'm here for it, brother. I really don't care. They're a waste of money. I don't even like my binary trigger. PSA weapons any good? They're fine. I don't really, I don't willingly buy them unless they're super cheap. They have quality control issues the same way Taurus did, and they actually have more quality control issues than Taurus does right now, but because they sell so many more guns, or they sell them so much cheaper, people tend to overlook them. Does my 930 have a pistol grip? Yes. Hope you're feeling better. I felt for you a few days ago. Gatorade tonight. Nope, just water. Have I tried the M&P? M&P 2.0 all-metal guns. I shot a couple, but I haven't owned one yet. What the frick is a super safety? A super safety is basically, it operates to force you to fire your gun faster. I'm not going to get super into it because they aren't technically legal right now. If the RXM doesn't get up and make some frames, they'll be severely underrated Glock clones like the Masada. Okay. Your gun knowledge is exceptional. What'd you do to become so proficient? I read a lot. If I want to know about a subject, I'll look it up and I'll read it. Just informing you since you're talking out your ass. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you need to be the internet guy. I got the very wide range of what I was talking about, and super safeties are illegal, so whatever. Would you say the Silencer Co. Hybrid 46 is a pretty good deal for the multi-caliber compatibility? It is. It's a large one. If you're going to go pistols, I'd also recommend the Yankee Hill R9. That's a great choice as well. If Glock is so terrible, why is everybody making clones? They're making clones because they're super cheap. Hey, you have a good day. Can you own gunpowder by the barrel for making your own ammo? If you can afford it, yeah. We had guns all figured out 40 years ago when we started using SBR. Let's see, Absolute Davies is that 22 looking pistols. That is the Ramline Syntec. The frames are out. They're $25. So I want them to do one that takes the Glock 17 mags. Do I know anything about Davidson Defense? I don't know anything about Davidson Defense. What do you think about the Heritage Rough Rider? It's cool. It's cheap. I've owned a few of them. I even had the 16-inch Rough Rider. I actually like the bar keep with the threaded barrel. I thought that was funny. They're cheap. They're cheap for a reason. They run. I would probably say the Ruger Wrangler or the Super Wrangler would be a better option. How hard is it to get an FFL now? It's not that hard. It's just time consuming, and you do have to go through a full enhanced background check, an ATF visit. They are not as wanting to allow private FFLs. So I'm a brick and mortar store, so I'm an actual gun store. Private FFLs are being much more scrutiny towards because private FFLs are where all the mistakes happen. What do I think about? Oh, I already answered that one. You got a poo? All right. Have your fun, dude. What company would you recommend for an AR-10? Pretty much any of them. Stag Arms makes a good one. I mean, if you want to spend a lot of money, you can go to the higher end companies, but Stag Arms makes them. Diamondback makes a couple. Radical makes a few that are under $1,000 that are really solid. I would actually also recommend that you look at the Ruger SFAR if you're just looking for something in a 308. That's an amazing one. It's like a 7.5 pound AR-10 basically, but it's based on the AR-15. Opinion on FUDs. FUDs are what they are. If you're a FUD, that's great. Don't push your shit on me. Same thing with religion. Should I give up on finding a threaded Meta MC9 barrel? I don't know. I haven't looked for one. Well, a 19 frame takes 17 mags, you know. Yes, I'm aware of that, DB, but I want the full frame feel. Oh, I don't give out prices, brother. Sorry. POF makes good ones, not cheap. That is true. POF makes some really expensive one. I'm just here to inform you. Yeah, AR-10s aren't mil-spec. Do you see a purpose in applying for a suppressor beyond having fun? If you have an actual purpose for it, that's completely different. If you have to take care of nighttime pests, coyotes, fox, etc., if you do hog hunting, if you do something that actually requires a suppressor, then they make sense. But this literally means nothing to me. I use it. I didn't even take it to North Carolina on my last trip. I use this from time to time in a video, but this is, if I was paying for it, would have been $1,000 down the drain to be used 3 times a year. I'd rather go to a casino and get syphilis than waste money on suppressors. So needless to say, I did not pay for this suppressor. If I had to, I wouldn't own it. Do the flat wire Wilson Combat recoil springs require a thinner guide rod? Not 100% sure. That's a good question, 33. Thoughts on Beretta APX A1? It's an improvement over the Toblerone, and I approve of it. Their takedown's a little funky, though. 1911 Emissary, what do you think of it? I sold mine 2 weeks after I bought it, and mine had the 10.8 Performance Lab sight upgrade in it. It turns out that it's chunky, and it's not comfortable in the hand. It's not a real good 1911, in my opinion. Love that comment. Thank you. You ever built an ARP? I just built my own. It's my first one. I don't build my own rifles or AR pistol platform stuff just because I don't want to. Also, now that I'm an FFL, if I built one in my store, then I would become a manufacturer, so I don't build them. I mean, AR-10s aren't parts brands interchangeable between brands platforms. Yes, that is 100% true. The uppers and lowers, you got to be very careful. Like, people will buy PSA lowers and try to match them with like Bear Creek Arsenal uppers, and they won't fit. Somebody asked me if I had an RPG. Ever heard of Vector Optics or Gideon Optics? Yes, I've heard of both. I haven't messed with Gideon. I do have a couple of Vector Optics. I actually have one, or had one, on my Black Aces tactical semi-auto shotgun, and it seemed to hold up fine. Right now it's sitting on a desk waiting to go on something. It's a full-size RMR one. Here in Pennsylvania, if you have your fur taker's license and there's people who don't want to take their own pests, such as you mentioned, like coyotes, they will pay people like myself to do it. Yep, and I know some people here in Virginia that they have farms and stuff. They're like, hey, dude, if you want to come and shoot at night, we got coyotes and stuff like that. Come on and take care of the problem. So, private property, man. Hit the like button, guys. Disparaging number of likes to viewers. I want you guys to double tap that shit. I don't ask you for money. I just ask you for likes. I'm the worst kind of whore, one who doesn't get paid. So, hit that like for me, kids. Have I dealt with HD Defense ARs from Pennsylvania? I have not. Silencers would be good for that. I'm mainly why I use 20. Exactly. That's why I was saying earlier, and that's my response was if you do pest control and things like that. Thinking about getting one each for your Arex and your Masada. Do what you want, brother. It's America. Shadow Systems made in California. I still don't want one. I had a bad experience with my very first Shadow Systems. It was a War Poet Society. You know, that one that was from Jim Lovell, who has Warrior Poet Society. He's a very smart man, obviously served, and he's a counter whatever. Anyways, his ego caused him to build a Glock and call it the best thing ever and charge $1,600 for it, and it was a Gen 3 clone that rattled like a mother father. So... you hit the like, Joe? No, I never hit my like button. I rely on you guys. I'm an honest motherfather. I don't even like my own shorts. I don't like my own videos. I don't like any of my stuff because I want you guys to be a genuine reflection of the quality of my channel. And you have been. 180,000 subscribers almost. You guys friggin' rock. Thank you. Best revolver in your opinion? Ruger GP100. I'd put right up there. If you're on mobile, all you got to do is double tap the screen. Yep, one of the most tolerable bro vets in my honest opinion. Talking about Jim Lovell. Yeah, he's very sure of himself, which is a trait of successful people, that they're highly narcissistic. He's a very narcissistic man. But he seems to know what the frick he's talking about. So if you know what you're talking about and you can back that shit up, then you get my respect. But if you're Overton Windex... Will Canucks MC9 Prime kill Sig's X Macro? No, it won't. Nothing will kill Sig's line of guns. Their 365 line became immortal the minute everybody decided they liked it. What do I think of the Springfield XD Mod 3? They're fine. It's still an XD. Nice party favors. Thank you, sir. What's the Kel-Tec on the wall chambered in? 12 gauge. Do I know if Kel-Tec pistols are any good? Depending on which ones you're talking about. I've had the PMR 30, which was their 30-round heel release 22 Magnum. I like that gun. Mine ran perfect. Some people say they don't. The P15 is kind of interesting. It's basically a P11 with an extended grip on it. The 22 caliber P17 has come a long way in terms of reliability and quality control. They seem to be pretty solid. You know, I haven't messed with like their P50 though. You were just about to say that. There you go. Can we talk lever action and reliability? Yes, reliability in accordance to what? Like I have Winchester lever actions and they're 100% reliable. Some of the Turkish stuff or even the Brazilian stuff, the Rossi R line, like the 92, 94, 95s, I've heard good things about them, but just like anything that's mass produced. So those companies are building their guns with the idea of maximizing the number that they build to bring the cost down to maximize their profits, which is fine. It's a good way to build a company in terms of volume, but not in terms of quality. Whereas Winchester doesn't make as many. Henry makes a shit ton, yet they still seem to have decent quality. Although they're being able to make sure they don't have live rounds in their guns, was a failure. But in terms of reliability, like my Winchesters have been 100%. FUD detected. Get off my lawn and get a haircut, you goddamn hippies. Good looks, man. Have barely been able to find any info on those things. No problem, Jacob. Boom, boom, boom. Just brand. Okay. So that kind of goes into what I was talking about. So Marlins, like the 336s, were really good back in the day. The minute Ruger owned them, or when they teamed up and shit, I think after 2011 was it? Some of their quality dropped. Can I legally have a gunsmith cut a Canik SF barrel shorter? I want threads for the MC9, but they're impossible to find. Yes, you can have any barrel shortened as long as you aren't creating a rifle, like a short barrel rifle or anything like that. Pistol barrels, they're not regulated in terms. Handgun barrels are anything under 16 inches. It can be as short as 0.05. The bullet can be hanging out the end of the barrel and just the chamber supporting the round, and that's still technically legal. So yes, you can cut it down. I've even dug in the rabbit hole seeing what it could take legally to use air filters as suppressor for those jobs I do, and from what I understand, the money it would take to do that. Well, so each one you build, if you want to use them in a commercial sense or use them in a traveling and not on your own home property for fun skis, Mr. Guns and Gear selling fucking oil filters and solvent traps, you do have to serialize and register each one. So it's $200 per. You bought a Rossi, you wouldn't buy another. I've had good luck with the Rossis, although the Henrys, at the cost I can get them for, seem like a better value. Would pretty much be the money I would need to just outright buy the suppressor and the tax stamp. That's what I'm saying. I would too. Guys, do you believe that a Mossberg shotgun Shockwave has a practical use? Yes. Truck gun, home defense in a tighter situation. Get a 20 gauge. It's easier for a lady to whip that shit out and walk the house. You got the Rossi 22 LR, seems to work fine. Yeah, that's because the Rossi 22 is made by Blaze Tech out of Brazil, so they're pretty solid. Problem with Marlins was when Remington took them over. Oh, okay. So it was when Remington and Freedom Group bought everything. Freedom Group was a horrendous corporation. Freedom Group bought Remington and a few others. They killed Para Ordnance. They bought Para Ordnance in 2012 and killed them in 2016, which was one of the stupidest things I had ever seen. They killed Para Ordnance in 2016 because it was cannibalizing their own Remington sales. So Remington has always had the R1, but there for a little while after 2016, after they stole the full design specs, I guess, from Para Ordnance, there were a run of them called the Remington R1 Enhanced. That was the beginning of the Enhanced line, where they were using the design package from the Para Ordnance Black Ops and the Expert line. And if you look at very first issued Remington R1 Enhances, they actually have Para Ordnance rear sights on them. What do you think revolvers are best for? Justin, you have a good one, dude. What do I think revolvers are best for? Revolvers are best for just whatever you want to do with them, man. Plank with them, shoot them, take them out to the farm if you're going to be, put snake shot in them. Revolvers are a gun, dude. You can get 357 Magnums with 8-round cylinders and frickin' carry that, and you got 8 rounds of 357, where a 1911 is 8 rounds of 45. So, should I buy a handgun through private sales or wait till I turn 21 in a few months? If you live in a state where you can legally do a private sale under the age of 21, why wouldn't you? As long as you can do it legally, nothing wrong with it. Waiting till you're 21 just means you can buy from a gun store, that's all. Was there anything you were excited for from SHOT Show? Honestly, no, because I'd seen a lot of those, because a lot of those guns were leaks. The RXM was interesting, but technically that was introduced in December. And ever since I started putting the store together, there's not much that's excited me, really. Para Ordnance rear sight is just an LPA. That is true. But what I'm saying is, if you look at a first generation Remington R1 Enhanced, that rear LPA sight literally says Para Ordnance on it. If you look at a Para Ordnance gun with the LPA rear sight, they are stamped Para Ordnance, kind of like the way Wilson Combat stamps theirs and Kimber stamps theirs. Para Ordnance used to stamp their LPA rear sight. And when they got bought out, the rest of their inventory after they got shut down was used on the Remington guns. So there are Remington R1 enhanced guns out there with para-ordnance marked rear sights. So when you say each one that includes once wears out and I have to get a new one, there's a piece that has to maintain the original serial number and the main body can be replaced at any. So if it's a rebuildable item, then whatever the serialized part. So for this suppressor, this is the serialized part. If this wears out and I just replace the body, which has been done before, this suppressor has been rebuilt by Silencer Co. once. As long as this piece is reused, this doesn't matter because this is what attaches to the gun, not this. So the baffles, the internals, all that stuff can be reused, but the body, the main part, you can see it's a two-piece, and then it's got a two-screw setup because this is a Gen 2. It doesn't have to be thrown away. The Remus is what you want, Stone. It did nothing for me. So as long as you keep the serialized part, so believe it or not, Silencer Co. rebuilt this suppressor before I even owned it because it was still in the store's name because I did it before the e-files were open again. It took me 162 days. But they had to rebuild this because my idiot, who used to be a friend, I used to call him my idiot friend, but he's just a dude now. He rapid fired this when it had a Nielsen device on it, but it was on a rifle. It was on a 9mm rifle length Smith & Wesson FPC. And he rapid fired it, and it literally was oscillating in opposition to the barrel. So it literally bent, and on his last shot, he baffle struck the entire thing. Your 06 Para Ordnance 9mm custom rocks. 06 too, that was when it was straight up Para, right? That was before Remington. KSG or DP12, neither. I really don't like a bullpup 12 gauge. Why do you have one behind you? That one's not mine. So, I'm actually feeling good. You guys are keeping my spirits up. Hit the like button. Double tap your screen, kids. If you don't double tap your screen, then Chiappa will come into your room and leave a rhino, and that's not a good thing. Para, North Carolina. Yeah, so I've had a few of the original Para Ordnance. Para Ordnance was originally out of Canada, and then they opened up in the United States. So that's why I called it a Para USA. So, yes. My old double stack was a Canadian frame. The feds are strong tonight. Are they? Oh. Tell you what's not strong, my neck. But I want a Rhino, even if it shoots like garbage. They shoot fine, it's their build quality. Look up Chiappa Rhino cracked cylinder bridge. I call it the bridge, the swing arm. There were multiple reports. Now, this was back in the day, so I'm doing that fudge shit where I had one bad experience and I'm attributing it to the whole company. But I've had several Chiappas and they were all crap. So I don't play with Chiappas at all. But they were having problems where the test fire at the factory was damaging the gun, and they were just sending it out anyway. Yeah, shit. Hang on a second. I'm doing something on the computer. This is probably what's going to hurt my eyes. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on a second. So I'm missing comments. Hang on a second. Do I know what year? Hold on a second. January 2009. That was when Para USA was established in Pineville. Originally, they were from Markham, Ontario, which is funny because we have a Markham, Virginia. I need my invoice so I can pay you and buy my shit stuff. I keep trying to grab a laptop fan because it looks like a mouse. This computer doesn't have this keyboard. I don't have a mouse on this computer right now. Let's see. How much are these motherfathers taking out of my pocket? Oh my god! $130! If I do the money to have a serial put on the piece that attaches to the gun, the filter end can be replaced at any point in time once it wears out. If the serialized part of whatever you build attaches to the gun, yes. If the serialized part is where the baffles are, then you're screwed. Jesus does not love me. He called me an asshole and kicked me out. I guess that's what I was trying to find out because I couldn't find a clear, definitive answer. Yep. So if you take a Maglite, the old Maglites, the big-bodied Maglites, and turn that into a suppressor and you serialize the body, all the internals can be replaced anytime. I have a Pineville frame. I guess I forgot the year. No problem, dude. 2006, 2009. That was still, minimum 15 years ago. Please remember to take a rest and drink water. I'm only streaming for 3 hours, so I don't need the rest, and I have plenty of water, my friend. I even have an apple. So my doctor has been complaining about my diet because I eat like a trash panda, so I'm switching to a full diabetic menu, and apples are considered okay. Even though I'm allergic to them, and they make my throat swell closed. You look much better tonight. I wasn't earlier today. I don't know why. It could be because I have more lights up. It could be because I took a nap before the live stream. It could also be because I haven't eaten in 5 hours. Not 100% sure why, but yes, right this moment, I feel absolutely fine. I feel a little bit of a twinge of it in the back of my head, but I can ignore it. So thank you. Filter may want to be careful how you word things. Mrs. Banner sends her warmest regards. I misread that and made up another word, but hey, Mrs. Banner, how you doing? Hey, Genesis, how you doing? You don't need to spam your highs. I get them. Trust me. Pinched nerve. No, I have degenerative nerve disorders. Diet is very important. No fried foods. Eat clean. It will make a difference in the quality of life. Okay. Less puffy. So diabetic friendly foods are like broccoli, which I actually do like. Lean cuts of meat, like you said, not fried. Grilled chicken. Although I like the barbecue, like using actual barbecue when I make grilled chicken. I don't like it in the oven. Fish, salmon. Salmon's high in omega-3 fatty acids, things that I could use. Believe it or not, I'm low on sodium. I'm Korean. I'm made out of salt. Basically, I lived my entire youth eating nothing but Korean food. But I've been avoiding a lot of salty items just because I don't like how they feel on my tongue. So, do I own any Kel-Tec guns? But yeah, nuts, legumes, those are all good for you. Be tough if you watch other people eat unhealthy. It'll make it hard for you to eat healthy. You know what's funny, Silent Bet? It's not difficult for me to watch other people eat because I don't desire foods, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not an eater just because I like the act of eating. There are times like today, I've had 2 apples. That's all I've eaten today. I'll probably have, I have some New York strip steak that I'm probably going to have after I'm done with the stream just to get some proteins in me. But if I don't think about it, I won't eat for days. So I get 100% what you're talking about. Like if you're going to a restaurant and your buddies are eating French fries and all that shit and you're trying to eat a salad, it is difficult, but it's not as difficult for me as people make it out to be. That's just me though. Gonna drag her back to the bedroom, make sweet, sweet romantic love to her soon. All right, we'll see you in about 2 minutes. Steaks are done. Mail mine here. That'd be baked chicken. Yes, but you know what I mean. Like I don't like using like a George Foreman. to grill chicken. I had to fast for my job and would go 6 days without food and seeing other people eat what they want. It really sucks. How do you feel about the PSA Dagger? It's fine. It's a Gen 3 clone. It works. Just make sure that the one that PSA sends you has all its parts in it. I've seen where some of the roll pins walk their way out, so you got to double check those. That's why PSA uses actual roll pin and not just standard dowel pins like Glock does. You're stronger than me, man. After about 2 weeks, even if I smell Panda Express, I'll cry. It's one of those things, man. Like, every now and then I want chocolate, but then I think about it and the effort it would take me to go and get chocolate, and then I'm like, I guess I don't want chocolate. 2 minutes including cuddle time. You should let her drive, Bruce. You probably have a much better experience. Turkish M4 clones. They've gotten a lot better. I still don't trust them over a Benelli, but they've gotten a lot better. I'll take my Mossberg 930 or even like the Beretta 1301 or the A300 Ultima. Mr. Mouse, how's it going? Good to see you, sir. See, starting later is helpful because now you get a full hour and a half with me. How you guys feeling? You and the wife doing good now? Oonga Boonga. Oonga Boonga. Who you think I am? Panda Express isn't that good in your area. Panda Express in my area, the chicken, their grilled chicken is nasty, dude. I don't know why it's like slimy. Do I own any legal full auto weapons? No, I don't. I just don't have the desire to pay the money that they want for it. So, because the ones that I want are, high 5-figure guns. Clean shave looks good. So, yeah, I shaved and then I got a haircut, so the hair's shorter. So it fits under the hat. She always drives. I sit back in my chair and let her take over. You are a very selfish lover. Pop 6 Viagra, let her have the time of her life. Send me all your guns. The opinions and suggestions generated by employees of the Jiminy Show LLC are not necessarily to be taken seriously, and should you accidentally do something that Jiminy or any associate of the Jiminy Show LLC recommends to you, you are doing so at your own risk. Go sugar-free chocolate. My wife is type 2 and she loves it. I can actually, that's a good option, but I really like pistachios. Like lightly sea salted pistachios, man. I can eat like a bag of those before I even need to eat chocolate. Haircut looks good. I need to get one. Yeah, no, it was finally driving me nuts. We had some snow here, so I was able to get into my local charcuterie, hairstylist, barbers. She calls it a barbershop, but it's all women that run the place. Good conversation, and literally because I'm going back to an undercut, all I do is a 2 on the side and the back just to shorten it down so it doesn't stick out of the hat. And eventually I'll let the top grow out long and then just fucking comb it back. Sorry, I'm not trying to cuss too much. I'm sorry. Apparently when I sit back, my cuss filter turns off. It's her job. Rent is always due here. Lol. Never seen those rifles. What are they? Well, the top one is actually a shotgun. That's the Kel-Tec KS7 12-gauge pump, bullpup shotgun. The one below it is a Tanfoglio bullpup 22 long rifle. Trump, in my opinion, is goated. Trump is like on frickin' meth right now. Every day that man is signing some kind of executive order. And it's freaking crazy. Although I don't approve of him cutting VA jobs. Unless he's cutting them from the administrative side, he needs to maintain like essential VA workers. For like my father was career military, so I'm a very strong proponent for treating our soldiers, people that are willing to serve and put their life on the line to save our freedoms. They deserve full treatment at absolutely no cost, especially if they actually serve. I'm not talking about you weekend warriors, sorry. But somebody that's actually been in a combat zone or served in a combat area and comes back and did their job for the United States should get free healthcare for the rest of their life, and they shouldn't have to wait 6 months to get an MRI. It's bullshit. Sorry, that's my opinion. Boom, 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 boom. Opinion on force reset trigger. They're legal, they're boring. They're a waste of ammo. An FRT, if you're fast, a binary can run as fast as an FRT, and they just waste ammo. I've got binaries, and I never use them. Edwin, you got that right. Thank you, sir. Like I said, I never served. I wasn't able to. I will never claim that I served, but my father was career military, and watching him deal with the VA for decades for his back and all the issues he has, it was bullshit, man. Man had to suffer even though he literally served in the war zones. He was in Afghanistan. He was forward operation bases in Afghanistan and literally in the shit. And people, you know, get better treatment than him because they're fat pieces of crap who sit at home, balloon up to 700 pounds, and then claim they're disabled. You're not disabled. You're fucking lazy. Sorry. I'm trying not to cuss too much, but there's a level at which disability is an abuse of power. I'm fully disabled because I'm a double amputee with a degenerative nerve disorder and multiple brain disorders. And every now and then I'll park somewhere and a 450-pound, thin-souled person, a Kentucky Fried Champion, will get out of their car because they're just fat and lazy. And that shit pisses me off. That's not a disability. That's a problem. Sorry. How do you keep rust out of the inside of the barrel on a 1911? If you're shooting an ammo that it has a lot of unburnt powder and stuff like that, just run a swab down it, dude. Just get some Hoppe's 9 and even a paper towel and your cleaning rod and just run it down the barrel. She agrees with you. Fuckalope, did you not listen to the entire thing I said? When you abuse the disability system, I literally wind up in the hospital for weeks at a time when I try to work at the dealership where I used to work at, where I paid taxes that paid for my disability. When you're somebody who wants to sit at home eating Cheetos and watching Ricky Lake, that's not a disability. You cooked your 7-year-old a Wagyu steak. He is so spoiled. Lol. My favorite is seeing 340-pound woman board my plane after I had to get rid of things in my bag for weight. Illegals get better treatment. That's why I wanted to make sure you came back at the right time. I wasn't ranting against disability. I'm fully disabled. Every time I work, so here's the way my life worked from 2011 to 2017 where I tried to kill myself. I would work for 6 months. I would be in the hospital for 2 weeks. I'd be laid up for 2 months. I'd go back to work. I'd wind up in the hospital for 2 weeks. I'd be laid up for 2 months. So yeah, I was making 6 figures selling cars, but I was accruing 7-figure medical bills every year. Illegals get better treatment. They do. I know illegals, broski. I met them. There are some that do, man. You have a lot of guns. That's not a lot of guns, my friend, but thank you. So pretty much anybody, if you're willing to just walk into an emergency room and say, screw the bills later, will get faster treatment than a veteran who does it the correct way and works through their, GI Bill or whatever, however the medicals are dispersed nowadays. But yeah, my father for his feet has been, he'll a month out to get, treatment. Why? Illegals, broski, you met them. That's a weird thing to say. That's like saying you have a black friend. Sorry. I like your Glocks. No Glocks. The only Glock. Right there. Glock. They don't because they're not covered and receive no benefits but pay into the system. But anyway, I do have a black friend. Yeah, well, I got a colored TV. What do you think of a 40 Smith & Wesson? It's an okay round. I don't mess with it too much just because I have many other guns in other caliber. I was going to say standard calibers, but 40 is technically standard. But I shoot a lot more 9 and 45 than I do any other calibers. So, damn, well, I have a VCR. Well, You know what? I got a computer with a DVD drive in it. I win. And it's serviceable. I can take all the parts out myself. Look at that RAM. And it can come out. It was more of a playful thing, DB, but I guess you did what you did. I don't question my soldiers. The time is now 9:31. I want to see how long it takes this apple to start yellowing. It came from the grocery store. Wow. I need to sharpen this knife, dude. Granny Smith's best apples ever. You've had the DVD and VHS in one. Those are actually expensive, dude. If you can find them with the remote and stuff at like, especially if they're the DVD-Rs, the ones that you can record to a DVD, they're worth a lot of money. I used to pick them up for like $4 or $5 and then sell them for like 80 to 100. Do I like the SIG or the Springfield 1911s? I've only owned a SIG Nightmare. I haven't owned one of the new X series, and I have a Springfield operator. I like the Nightmare, but I had the 4.25 inch, and I don't like 4.25 and 45. So right now, I would go with Springfield. Jimbo, I haven't been on in a while. Hope you and your health is going perfect. If you watched the last 3 live streams, I ended Mondays. Today Friday? Yeah, I ended Mondays after a half hour because I literally threw up. You bought a SIG Micro for $500? It's not a bad price. Why are Kimber Springs longer than, or why are Wilson Springs longer than Kimber Springs? So it's all about the spring tension weight. So also, I think the longer ones aid in short stroking because they're longer. What barrel length would you go for in a CCW 1911? I carry a 5-inch every day. So I wish health to you and your pew-pews. Thank you. I appreciate it. See, I'm allergic to apples, so it burns, which is always weird to me. People don't understand when I ask them why fruit burns. So 33, Wilson Combat recoil springs are designed to be longer than standard springs to provide a more consistent and reliable cycling of the pistol with a longer lifespan due to increased surface area of the spring contacting the guide rod, which helps distribute wear more evenly and reduces the likelihood of the spring setting or losing tension. This is particularly important for high round count shooting scenarios. That's why Wilson Combat ones are longer. Looks good if it's a pear. No, it's a Granny Smith apple. I love Granny Smith apples. It's the only apple that I like. What's a good cold CCW live fire drill? If you're talking about cold, then you need to practice your draw and fire from close distance. So if your target is within 7 yards, like if they're kind of like standing too close to you, you need to be able to practice pulling, pointing, and shooting. That would be a good cold one. So if you believe the FBI, most self-defense shootings happen within 7 yards. So if you practice pull, point, shoot, without drawing all the way up to your freaking eyes to aim, then you'll get better at point shooting, which is something that's important. Have I ever had a Honeycrisp apples? I have, but I like the sourness of Granny Smiths, or at least they're sour in my mouth. They taste very sour to me. So, on top of being allergic to apples, so they cause a burning in my mouth, the sour taste actually takes away my hunger. I do like them sour apples. Now, I wouldn't want to eat it in a pie. When it comes to eating them in a pie, I'd probably go with like a Golden Delicious or yeah, probably a good Golden Delicious would be awesome in a pie. Which actually is what I associate with most pies because you know, like all the pre-made pie packages are always green. Hello, Tao. Dude, it doesn't take long for them to start yellowing. But yeah, it's better for me if I cut them. That way they don't touch my lips. When they touch my lips swell up. And not in a good way. I'm also cutting on the table of death. So my favorite gun on the wall tonight would probably be the Ruger American Pro in 45. Just because it's the only 45 up there. Careful with that knife. Nah. Dude, it's super dull. Like, nothing. It needs to be sharpened. I've been using it for doing some stupid shiz. No, I can't pick anything up. The fact that I'm holding the knife and I was holding the suppressor earlier, I'm surprised I haven't been yelled at. I really like the Bullpup 22. YouTube. YouTube does not allow us to handle firearms on live streams. Fresh, my guy. Google those questions, my friend. I'm not a price guide. I'm not Google. Sorry. Try out some potatoes. Too many carbs. I'm diabetic. What do you think is the best? Although I can have sweet potatoes. The best 12 gauge round. I use just number 8 birdshot. Excuse me, not buckshot, birdshot. Am I doing anything special for Valentine's Day? You're looking at it. What's up? Not much, Rockman. How you doing? I said diabetic, not diabolic. Survived the chip? The chip wasn't the problem, dude. The problem was my vertigo and my dizziness. Yeah, if you also notice, one of the differences from the other few times is I'm refusing to lean back. Your wife doesn't get home from work for a while. You're hoping to get lucky tonight. If you got 2 hands, you always have a couple of chances. I'm reacting to the apple. My stomach is churning. Damn, does it bother you all the time? Lately it has. And that's been a problem lately. So I'm hoping it will resolve itself, but it hasn't yet. Statistically, 1 in 24. How's the vertigo? It's still bad. I was dealing with it most of today. It's at bay seemingly for right now, but I also don't want to move around too much. I feel it kind of in the back of my head, like it wants to start. So who knows? Maybe I just have a brain cloud. I enjoy turtles and turtle accessories. A lot of people don't realize the shell is not just an outer losable piece. It's part of their skeleton. I hope it gets better soon. Me too. I'm running out of money paying for tests and medication. Those are some weird suggestions, Robert. Why are you making those suggestions? My body is reacting to the apples because I'm allergic to apples, but I eat them anyways because I like the way they taste. I also like when fruit burns. I don't snort apples. You get one hand with 3 fingers and one eye, you can still shoot. You don't even need hands. Google competitive shooter with no hands. The man is insane. He was also on PewView. Nick from PewView had this guy on his channel. The apple was probably a bad idea. Time to donate blood, platelets, and sperm. Can you ship me a tank? No, I'm not Amazon. I can't afford that. What brand is the gun on top? Kel-Tec. I don't know why, but these tweezers are enthralling me. You know about cut shells for 12 gauge, like you cut them and it makes them into a slug or something. I've heard the term. I've never done it. DJ, I appreciate that, but I call it vertigo, but it's not true vertigo. So I'm not getting dizzy. I'm literally passing out. So it's not just vertigo. Can you get more guns, please? My cousin has more guns. My brother has more guns than you. You think your brother does. I've heard of it too, but haven't done it, so I got a bunch of birdshot. There you go. Can I have an Abrams? Yes, you can. You'll need to pay me first, though, and you can expect delivery in 3 to 5 decades. I operate under the U.S. combat delivery schedule for military armaments. So the one you are currently paying for is still under development and won't be released to the public for 26 more years. It'll cost you $18 billion, though. You're paying for the whole program, but you get the first one. Tony, go back through all my videos and watch them all, because that will help me, number one. And the way to figure out which guns are mine, if I didn't say I borrowed it from somebody, it's my gun. There are 1,800 gun videos. Good luck. How much for the gun on the bottom? You can email me. We don't talk gun sales on YouTube. Email me at windcityarmory@gmail.com. DB, don't just remove people's questions about that. So give me a chance to actually do it the legal way. Whatever happened to your Kimber with the coat of arms grip? The classic. Sold it to a buddy of mine at a cigar shop. Do I have an AUG A1? No, I can easily get one, but they don't appeal to me. Like, those bullpups aren't mine. I'm not a bullpup guy. I don't like any gun that inherently gives it a worse trigger. Oh man, you like that one. I did, but it was one of those things where I like some of my other guns more, and when I need money, there are some guns that I buy just because the price is right that I'm willing to move on. Why'd you get rid of your Echelon? Because I was waiting for the comp version to come out, and then the comp version came out, and they're overly expensive, so I may just buy my Echelon back. My buddy over at Bears Trading Post has it, and I can buy it back for just about what I paid, or they paid me for it. So, um, are guns expensive, or is it something you can get for like $700? You can get guns as cheap as $50, my friend. Just depends on which guns you're looking for. Go to a gun store. If you're in the United States, go to any gun store. You can see a wide gamut of prices. So my uncle gave me a somewhat rusty Marlin 30 AS lever action. I read up on it. People seem to think it's like a budget 336. Do I have any knowledge? I have not played with anything outside of the standard 336 from Marlin, so I don't know. If it still shoots, any gun's worth salvaging, even if you just preserve the patina, get rid of the rust, and keep it as a shooter. Shot an Echelon in Wyoming, couldn't hit the plates at 15 yards. It sure felt good in the hand, though. Sorry, dude. Hey, Susu, what's up? Got a haircut. A $10 410 Bob. Just go to a garage sales. Your airsoft guns are more expensive than that. They can be, 100%. Hello, Ryan. I was thinking it may still be a good shooter. I appreciate your input. Yeah, if it's a good shooter and you want to preserve its condition, and it's better to do that. Otherwise, I know people that'll just restock them and then re-blue them without trying to fix them as long as they shoot. I had to sell my great-grandfather's rifle. Oh, I'm sorry, Sue. Canik or Glock? Canik. Have you ever wanted a 50? I've had a 50 Desert Eagle, and I do want a Barrett M82A1, but I'm not paying the money that they're worth. What's your favorite caliber? Open-ended question. I prefer guns over caliber, so if a gun's only available in one caliber. So if you say that your favorite gun is a Colt Delta Elite, then you're locked into 10 millimeter. So I like guns. What's the carbine? It's not actually a carbine. It's a full-length rifle. It just happens to be a bullpup. So that is a Tanfoglio Appeal 22 long rifle. We don't talk about prices on live streams. If you want to know about a gun, you can send me an email. I am an actual FFL, and I can send to another FFL. Looking handsome with the haircut. Oh, thank you, Susu. You're too kind. Thoughts on 5.56 NATO? 5.56 NATO. Okay. Don't really have any opinions. If you meant 5.56 because you put 5.6. That's gangster. Thank you. Best 10 millimeter pistol in your opinion? Thank you for answering questions. It depends on what you're looking to do with it, sir. You can get a revolver in 10 mil. I think the GP100 comes in at 10 mil. If you're talking about an auto loader, the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 in 10 mil is a great choice. The SIG X10 is a great choice. The Glock 40 and the Glock 20s are both good choices. I do not recommend FNs. Our M4 is pretty long because my airsoft one has a 12-inch barrel, but it looks long to me. In the United States, if you have shorter than a 16-inch barrel, you technically have a pistol. So an M4 with a 16 or an 18-inch barrel would be standard. So a 12-inch is technically a pistol in the United States. Hiking in wood country. Go with the Glock. The Glock or the Smith & Wesson will be the most reliable in adverse conditions. Oh, you're talking about the 6.8? I have no opinions on their new one. The 6.8 and the 8.6 Blackout are both new calibers that the military is using, and I don't have any opinion on either one of those, to be honest. I haven't shot them. I meant that make sure you guys double tap the live stream. Yep. Can you get an AK-47? Is it good? AK-47s are only as good as the pot metal they're made out of. What's your favorite gun that you own? Probably my 1939 Winchester Model 1894. Carbine is rifle 16-inch. The actual definition of carbine is a rifle barrel that is shorter than the original. So if you have a rifle that originally had an 18-inch barrel and you have a 16-inch barrel version, that's the carbine. So if a gun is only available in 16-inch, then that's just a rifle. Carbine is a shorter version of a longer barrel. So I technically have two pistols. I guess, I mean, it's airsoft, so not really. Do you have any cans? If so, what do you got? Silencer Co. Osprey 9 2.0. It's the only one I've got right now. I got it when I was setting up the background check system for Middletown Firearms. I don't use it anymore. 12 could be an SBR. Yes, I agree with that. That's why I said a carbine is rifle length. But yes, I agree, DB. 8.6, not 6.8. Yeah, I have no experience with the 8.6. I didn't know that about carbines. Yep. You had a witness match in 10 millimeter, an old school Defiant. I liked it quite a bit, but I didn't shoot it much. Sold it by the wife PS5. Dude, you gave somebody a deal if you took an. I hope you made some more money than that, because the Defiants, man, they sell for a lot of money right now. Do you have any bayonets? No, I do not. I'm not a knife or a bladed edge guy. I've got a couple of knives, and that's it. In fact, the one that I keep near my computer is an old Gerber fold-out knife, and then I have the QB here in my other desk. I have another QB. Picked up your first one, Huxworks Ventum 556. So far, it runs fantastic. I've heard Huxworks are good. Most of my experience with suppressors are Yankee Hill, Dead Air, and Silencer Co. But Huxworks makes some decent stuff. I guess I have a carbine SKS because it's a paratrooper Noriko. There you go. You can call it a carbine. Most people will probably tell you you're insane for calling an SKS a carbine, but happy wife, happy life. Single dude, don't need the tude. What do you think about the 22 long rifle FN 5 series? Well, thankfully it's a frame that can handle the pressure, because FN's 5 series are trash. But also it's not an FN. It's built by Umarex. What you have is an internal system that has been used in the Beretta 22s, the Colt 22s, tons of other 22s. So the FN is just it's kind of like with Airsoft, where they use the same internals and rebody it. Same thing with the 5 series. The 502 is built by Umarex. It's built by an Airsoft company. How do I feel about the PSA 10? No experience with one. I thought about getting a bayonet, but I have the way the front sight has to be fixed. You run a Sandman K on your 300 Blackout. I've heard that's a good one to run. Like I said, I only have a pistol one right now. The next one I'm going to get, once I get my SOT set up with the store, is probably just going to be a 46M. I might add an Osprey 45 to it. The problem with these is because these two screws are literally the only things that hold this entire body together on this gun. It can't handle more than 35,000 PSI, so it can't handle even 5.7. So it's literally able to handle 9mm cartridge diameters, but you know what I mean, 3.379 or whatever, 0.38, but it can't handle the pressure. I fired, well, my friend fired 5.56 through it and bulged the side. Am I going to do a review on a Gideon site eventually? If one walks in, I'll do it, or if Gideon wants to send me some sites, I'll review their sites. I don't willingly pay for sites just to do a review, just because I have enough. I have literally a bag sitting at my desk with like 10 optics sitting in it. I have the Silencer Co. Hybrid 46 on my 300 Blackout. I love it. Yeah, I want to go with the 46. I'm probably going to go with the hybrid. I want to go with the 46 because I want to be able to shoot a lot of different calibers. You have the rugged Obsidian 9. You run on all your pistols. So isn't that what you have? Don't you have the Obsidian? My SKS has a spike bayonet. I have a bayonet. It's illegal in the People's Republic of California. Bayonets are just a sharp stick. Dude, how long has it been? I said 9:31. It's been 24 minutes, man. Apples do not last long. Longer than guacamole. I'm eating an apple like an asshole from a movie. You want to run a pistol type red dot on an AR9? I would recommend, here's just my honest recommendation. If you want like the easiest setup to go with, buy a Romeo 5. Don't buy a pistol red dot, buy a Romeo 5 and just be done with it on an AR9. You can add a magnifier to the back if you want to, but an AR9 is a 100-meter gun or a 100-yard gun. You don't need, and why would you want to limit yourself to the size of your reticle? Unless you're running something like an SRO or a Swamp Fox, was it the Justice? I think it's the Justice. One of them that has a 31mm optic lens. There's no reason to run a pistol optic on an AR9. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Thumper. Stone, you haven't missed anything. Just random talking. Talking a little bit of suppressor stuff. It's crazy that it's illegal to have an SKS with a grenade launcher. Yeah, I've been eating an apple for the last half hour, and it burns. I might actually be starting to sweat. I have the Romeo MSR on my AR, and I like that. I just don't want to spend a ton of money. No, get the Romeo 5. Go on PSA's website. When you buy all your parts, you can usually find a Romeo 5 for around $100. Your 10-month-old is eating your steak. I told you, people. Become Stone's friend. Look at that. His 10-month-old eats Wagyu. Meanwhile, I'm eating a freaking apple. Like an old school Milsurp one, if you get one off. I don't know. I've never messed with one. You're talking about that lug that goes on the front? I guess. Did you ever eat the chip? Yes. If you go back to Friday, was it Fridays? Was it only Friday? Holy shit. If you go back to Friday's live stream, the one where it said this is going to burn, and you advance to 1 hour and 4 minutes, it starts about there. Thanks, Night Dude. Feel better and don't die from the apple. That's why I tend to drink water and fluids when I eat anything that I'm mildly allergic to. I'm new to guns and I don't like Glocks. When I shot them, they felt really crappy. When I shot the 1911, it felt nice. Why do you think that is? To a new gun enthusiast. The reason the 1911 feels better, number one, it's an all-metal gun, so it is heavier, so it absorbs recoil better. Number two, the grip angle on a 1911 is perfect. If you watch and read and look at magazines, a lot of them will talk about how new guns use a 1911 grip angle, or they do what they do because it's a 1911 grip angle, grip style, 1911 grip, blah, blah, blah. It's because the 1911 grip is naturally designed to make you point the gun straight. Where the Glock supposedly is like throwing a... Somebody actually left a comment on one of my videos. It's like throwing a punch. Yes, I would punch somebody with a Glock just to be an asshole, but why do I want to hold my gun like I'm about to throw a punch? I mean, yeah, if I'm going to be doing all this side bullshit, maybe, but it's a stupid thing to comment. The lug makes it banned. That's silly. Am I a gangbanger? Bro, look at me. Do I look like I belong to a gang? Picked up a Daniel Defense Complete Upper the other day. Nice. They do some quality work. Have you seen that scam ad about getting a free gun? I have not, but I have had, like when my channel first started taking off, there were a bunch of assholes that were trying to use Telegram with fake channel representation. The reason why they haven't been hitting my channel that much is because I stopped doing giveaways. Mainly because I'm done pandering to people. I want you guys to come along because you want to be here. I don't want to bribe your asses into being here. I'm not Mr. Beast. Boom, boom, boom. Apple, 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 apple. I look like I might be ready for a nap. I'm very tired. So I posted on Facebook that I'm not going to be open this weekend, or even probably Monday or Tuesday, just because I don't feel good. I need to get a handle on the situation with why I'm passing out before I worry about too much more. However, the website for Win City Armory, that's the name of my FFL, Win City Armory, WINCITYARMORY, will be up on Monday, and I will be publishing just the used guns that I've had for a while. I'm still waiting to set up with Gearfire to do new guns. Do you think if I get a stronger spring for my Staccato P, it will make it recoil less? I think it will change the recoil impulse, but I don't know if it's going to really change how it feels because the Staccato has a polymer frame. And you're running your X300 on it, right? So that if you could put more weight on the nose, that would actually help your recoil more. So like get rid of the X300 and get a heavier light, like an older light, or even get like a match weight for it. Heard that. I don't blame you. Thank you. You can have the bayonet lug, but not a grenade lug. Ugh. So we're at 10 o'clock. Now's the time when I ask you guys to do me a big favor. I don't care about money. You can always donate if you want to. But if you guys can do me a big favor and just hit the like button for me, it shows Google and YouTube that they can promote a firearms channel. It takes you 2 seconds. Just tap your screen or just hit the like button if you're watching on a computer. I don't ask for money. I just ask for likes. I'm the cheapest whore you've ever met. You don't even have to buy me lobster. Just hit the button and it just shows Google that I'm worth promoting. Thank you. You got the X300 and the Acro P2. So the Acro P2 and the X300 probably cancel each other out a little bit. Also, the Acro on the top of the slide might make it feel like the recoil impulse is a little bit different, but it shouldn't matter as much. But yeah, it just the recoil spring will make it snappier. The stronger the recoil spring, the faster it's going to snap back forward. So it might help you get back on target faster, but I don't know if it's going to do anything with the recoil. Have I ever wanted to fire a 416 Rigby? I've never even seen a 416 Rigby, but yeah. You're great, man, besides being a gangbanger with all your tattoos, Lamau. Yeah, that's gangbanger right there, bro. Nerd Squad. I'm the Nerd OGs, although I do have a skull over here, but it's not crying, so... And then the other one's holding a Hemi piston, so... Also, I have an 1800s style magnifying glass circling where I tried to kill myself. So, well, technically I did kill myself, but I say try to because this wasn't the vein that I actually wound up severing. But yeah. Oh my God, he said kill himself on live. Oh my God, they're going to bring down his channel for that. Jesus, I'm so tired of the censorship that people are allowing themselves to be held to just because they're getting demonetized. Bro, just... You either want to create content or you want to make money. If you want to make money and you're going to change your entire premise of your channel. Glad I asked you. Thanks. No problem. Get well soon. Thank you, Edwin. The 700 Nitro Express hurts really bad. Yeah, I'll trust you on that one. I've seen Kentucky firing it, and he's much bigger than I am. Favorite on the wall tonight is probably my plaque. Dude, I met a guy covered in tattoos. He had a teardrop tattoo on his face. It was like a blue upside down M or something. If he was truly in a gang, as far as I understand, a teardrop means murder. Can you give me your input on whether I should get a 9mm PCC or something in 5.7 by 28? Main use would be a range toy, but I do want your input. 5.7 by 28, unless you're going to be, especially out of a carbine length, is going to be more expensive than 9, but I can't imagine it's going to be more fun. So 9mm is going to be the cheapest one to run, and most pistol caliber carbines or pistol caliber PDW short barrel stuff is usually 100 meters or in, and 9mm is very lethal at 100 yards or 100 meters. Favorite rifle, Winchester, model 1894 and 30. What's good 50 caliber? What do you mean? Like a Smith & Wesson 500 or a Barrett M82A1 or a Serbu? They're all good. Can mean lost loved ones. Gotcha. I think so. He was in his 50s. It seemed like he just got out of prison and he didn't know how to use a smartphone. That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to know that people that went in before 2000, like 2006, was when the smartphones really started taking off. 2007 was, I believe, iPhone's first year. So if somebody's been in prison for 15 years or more, they don't understand what we're doing here. They don't understand that I'm using a literal phone to live stream to the internet to earn a living. That's freaking crazy. They don't realize that a phone is all you need in 2025 to be, big Doug. I'll ditch a 5.7 idea. I'd rather 9mm affordability. Yeah, 5.7's cool, but I would recommend it in like a pistol if you're going to do 5.7 because we can't get full auto anyway, so why bother? So you might as well get the pistol. Like that is the T-Shack PX57. That's a 5.7 striker fired. Going into the Army in a couple of months. Well, thank you for signing up to serve, son. Kind of sad he was trying to get his life back together. Well, hopefully he does. Being in your 50s is not the end of life anymore. I'm 46 this year. And I act like a 12-year-old, so. With proper lighting, yeah, you are right, I am a lot less swollen. But with proper lighting, I look like I'm in my 30s. 300 blackout is pretty nice. Yes, it is. What about favorite AR? My favorite AR is a custom build that's been kind of evolving over the last few years. My buddy built it for me. It uses a PSA Virginia lower. If you guys remember in 2019, 2020, so they were trying to keep Virginia blue. So PSA issued a limited run of PSA Virginia lowers because they were trying to outlaw ARs in Virginia. And if you own them before a certain date, you could keep them. So mine says 6 Semper Tyrannis on it, and I have a binary, so my switch goes all the way around. But it's got a Franklin Armory binary trigger in it. It's got a Butler tactical bolt in it. It's got a Radian Radian charging handle. It's all Magpul furniture, but it's got a custom stipple grip. It has a unique AR's upper. They're out of Idaho. Look them up. They're really cool dudes. They sent me one. It's an eagle. It's literally the American flag that turns into an eagle at the end of it. It's a round, super thick, super thick handguard on it. And it's in 223 Wild. And it's an amazing shooting gun. It's got like $3,500 in parts in it now. The journey is all about keeping the kid alive inside. Keep it going, brother. So, Kyle, when you say that, I kind of relate to John Cena. We're about the same age, John Cena and I, and we have the exact same philosophy on life. He's not a dad. He's not interested in becoming a father. I'm not interested in becoming a father. My sister has boys, so the family line will continue, and my brother, whatever, he's only in his 30s, so he's got plenty of time. But, like me personally, I don't want kids. I have a store. I have multiple computers. I have tons of fun stuff. And to me, I'm too selfish. I know I can raise a kid and the kid will be awesome, but I'm too selfish. I don't want to do it. Do I have a 10 gauge? No. Yeah, it's not like he's in his 50s. He's just covered in tattoos and doesn't know how to use a smartphone. Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll learn quickly. It sounds badass, bro. Can we see that AR? No, I can't pick up a gun that's on live stream. It's been behind me a few times. It'll be back up there soon. I want to build a custom wheel like Black Powder's 50 cal one day. Well, there you go. It's black powder. You can build it anytime you want. It's technically not a gun. I think I remember when you got that handguard way back when. Yeah. I'm on the no kids fence too. So, when I was a youngster in my teen years, right, I had my plan laid out. I was going to start a family by 25. I figured if I had kids by 25, I married and have kids by 25. I said if I didn't do that by 25, then I wasn't going to worry about it. And that's just the last 2 decades, I haven't worried about it. So in 2000, I started working for a car dealership. So I was 21 years old. I was working at a car dealership. I was making tons of freaking money, driving all these fun sports cars, buying Grand Nationals, Buick Skylarks, Chevy Impalas, K5 Blazers, Camaros, Firebirds, Mustangs. I was having the time of my life. I can go out and do whatever the frick I wanted. And I had a bit of the hypermania to me. So I was able to do all this shiz. and I just threw the kids into the back seat. It doesn't sound right. I just decided not to have kids. Onsmic, hope the shop is doing well. Going to a local gun show tomorrow, looking at an AUG A3M2 at a fair price. I expect to be disappointed. Yeah, if they screw you over, let me know, dude. I can ship one to you. What's the gun behind you, the bottom one? It's the Tanfoglio Appeal 22 long rifle bullpup. The rules on streaming platforms are getting crazier and crazier. Well, I mean, the TOS for YouTube when it comes to gun streaming has been pretty solid since 2019. In 2019, a dude offed himself with a shotgun on a live stream, and since then you can't touch a gun on a live stream. But when you're talking about like music and other stuff, yeah, you know, the world, all these companies realized how much money they were losing to content creators stealing their music. How do I gain weight? Eat. I love being single because I don't want to lose my hearing when I get older. Yes, my grandpa told me this. That's a weird thing to say. You're living the dream with the Grand National. So back when I was selling cars, I never kept the car long enough to change the oil. And we used to buy out of Chicago where all the cars wound up. So I had a GNX, the full GNX, like the rare one. Sold it to a custom builder in California because somebody had tubbed it and put drag slicks on it, and this guy wanted to restore it, so we wound up selling that one to California. The one I had, my Grand National that I had for like 2 years was just a bone stock one. I also had a couple of Regal T-types that I modified. But when I was working there, dude, we used to do whatever we wanted because we used to get cars for pennies on the dollar out of Chicago. Garrisons, I have built a few rifles and several pistols. Do you like a 45 Combat Commander with a compensator? Not really. I don't like commander size anything. My grandpa was half deaf and he said it was because he got bitched at too much. Oh, that's why. Gotcha. My advice on those of you men that are still single, marriage is a bad deal for us. We give up everything for them and they give nothing for you. 20 years married. Also, if you had just killed her, no, I'm just kidding. This is a joke. But you'd be out of jail now. You'd be a felon, but you'd be free. I get it. It just takes one person to change rules. I was also going to ask what your favorite revolver is. Ruger GP100. Easy question. One that impresses me, though, is actually my EAA Windicator. It's a 357 Magnum revolver that's got 8,000 rounds through it, and it still runs perfect. Very much impressive that a lower price, you can buy them for $400, that a lower price 357 has lasted that long. I finally got my 69 Beetle on jack stands, put fuel stabilizer in it, and ran the engine for a bit. Ooh, nice. Gotta keep those things stable. You don't want to flat spot the tires either, man. If you have to replace the tires every year. Do I like 45 long Colt? I've only shot it out of a Judge, so I don't have a lot of experience with it. Although I may shoot it out of my Smith & Wesson 460 XVR because that will shoot any rimmed 45 cartridge. She is okay, but this has been mine and my friend's experience. Part of it may be the region, the Midwest. So I'm not going to put my whole family's history out there, but there are divorces in the family. So I have never, as a person, been part of a stable family, core family. So I don't know what to do. So like my brain goes, do I show them all the deference in the world? Do I stand up for myself? Do I tell them they're being an idiot when they're being an idiot? Just because too many people have pulled the ripcord and parachutes in families that I've been part of, that it has never registered to me that I wanted to be responsible for somebody else's happiness. I want you to be happy. I just don't want you to rely on my dumbass to make you happy. I have an EA Windicator too, but mine's a snubby in 38. I can't remember the last time I shot it. Shoot it a bunch. I'm sorry, Karen. Have I heard anything about the reciprocity bill? No, I have not. Have you heard? What have you heard about it? You know, the weird thing is the state of Virginia recognizes everybody CCW. So technically, if you live anywhere but here, you can come here with your CCW and you're fine. So. Let's see. The Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act allows people to carry concealed firearms across state lines if they are eligible to do so in their home state. Let's see. That was H.R. 38, 118, Congress. Let's see. Actions. Referred to the House Committee and the Judiciary Committee on 1/9/2023. That was the last time there was action on it, so no, it did not go through. Let's see. My grandma divorced twice and my mom divorced once. Yeah, I got a sister that divorced a couple of times. Can you please tell me how to stop my nephew? Trainwreck, if you're being serious, you need to actually seek out medical professional help. That is an issue. Your son could have, your nephew could have something called Prader-Willi syndrome or Willi-Prader syndrome. I think it's Prader-Willi, where they can't stop eating. If you're being dead serious, I would definitely take him to see a professional. Did concealed carry reciprocity make it through? No, it appears to have died in 2023. I can open carry anything anywhere except government buildings because I'm in Iowa. Also, you're American. But yeah, I get it. Why does the gun at the bottom button behind you look like something from District 9? It's because it's a bullpup rifle, and bullpups are very popular in screen media because they look futuristic. Like, it looks like something, like you said, from District 9. That looks like something out of a space movie, whereas a 1911 doesn't. Pennsylvania is pretty solid on open carry too. Yeah, but they don't honor my CCW. So I live 30 miles from Pennsylvania, 40 miles from Pennsylvania, and I go up there for flea markets, and I can't carry my gun. So literally when I drive up there, I drive from Virginia through West Virginia into part of Maryland into Pennsylvania. So the minute I go into part of Maryland and Pennsylvania, I literally have to take my gun out of my CCW spot, which is kind of shish because we honor theirs. You'd think they'd honor ours. Thank you so much. Much love. No problem, Trainwreck. You need to get a CCW here, but if I move back to Florida, it's not required. How many firearms do you currently own? I don't know. So I don't purposely count because I don't want to know how much money I've spent on guns. It's triple digits. I can conceal carry anywhere because I have a special pocket. Yeah, so I was thinking about getting it. What was it? The Utah non-resident CCW is honored in like 30 states or something like that. Wait, you don't believe in the Second Amendment? I'm on the internet currently recording something, so I follow all local laws and municipalities when it comes to how I carry my guns. Constitutional carry for the entire U.S. should be a flush thing, damn tyrants. You should be able to carry whatever the hell you want, however you want to carry it. I think if everybody is armed, we will be a much more polite society. In the Old West, we used to take care of our own towns. Let's go back to that shit. A lot of people are going to die, but a lot of people that died deserve to go. What do I think about the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus 2011? Isn't that super expensive one? Or am I thinking of a different one? I like all 2011s, but I haven't spent any time with one. If you get a small enough gun, nobody will know you have it. I can carry a 1911 5-inch and you won't notice. All laws, I gotcha. Hank. Same as the Steelers do, yep. Do I ride dirt bikes? No, I don't have feet. You can just use your Virginia CCW if you have one and apply for a PA CCW, and Virginia will count for the training requirements. I think you just pay $30. Yeah, but I don't go up there enough for me to want to go through the effort of frickin' filling out paperwork. You right. Thank you. The gun on top and bottom, are they shotgun or is one of them a shotgun or neither? Hunter, the top one is the KS7 12-gauge bullpup shotgun. The one on the bottom is the Tanfoglio, thank you Stone by the way, Tanfoglio Appeal 22 long rifle. That's going to be the second most asked about gun ever. They're pretty cool though. They're available for sale, wincityarmory@gmail.com. I am an actual FFL, so I can talk about it. I don't discuss prices on live stream, and I'm not going to ask you directly to buy the gun. But if you are interested in a gun like it, go ahead and send me an email. Completely agree with that sentiment. Some people are soft, though, can't even comprehend having guns. You know what I find funny? There was a lady who made the news because she was totally anti-gun, right? Totally anti-gun. Somebody took her to a gun range, taught her how to use a gun. She became super 2A, and then immediately used that gun to threaten somebody on the Beltway. So, I was thinking of getting one since I got some family PA. Problem is I have to pick up the permit within 30 days. Come on by. Go to Pennsylvania, pick up your permit, come on down, hang out, we'll go to the range. Have you ever shot an AA-12 or Vepr 12? If so, what are your thoughts? I have not. Unfortunately, they backed out their ruling on shotguns. The AA-12 became no bueno for me, so I've never shot one. Yeah, you're getting a lot of questions on that gun. Yeah, needs to go away. Sounds about right. Okay, I just want to make sure. I thought the top was a 12 gauge and 22 on the bottom, but wasn't sure about it. You called it. Thank you for asking politely. I don't runs. But do you skid marks? I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. I'm happy. Do you have to have a permit to own a gun in Pennsylvania? No, you do not. But go up into New Jersey and they're a bunch of assholes. I gotta go. Have a good date. Thank you. Have a good Valentine's Day. Make sure you hit the like button for me, my friend. I'd really appreciate it. Why should you have to apply for anything that is your right in the Constitution? So, yes, my official position as an individual American citizen is any laws and infringement on my right to own, conceal, carry, and properly and safely use my firearms. As a person who watches the news and sees what social media does to a bunch of people who become nothing but zealot idiots, I understand why it's so hard to get back to that state. Hopefully someday, if Trump really needs to distract people, he'll make a new executive order that CCWs are now invalidated and everybody can carry anything they want any way they want. What's the most unique stocked gun you've seen or shot? Sliding action 12 gauge. Have you ever seen one of those? It was a really cool shotgun. It came in on transfer. It wasn't mine, but the action actually opened. Like when you broke it, when you went to eject the shells, it like had a slide, a bolt or whatever you want to call it, that would come back to get the shells out. It was really cool. I've been to New Jersey and it's sick with firearms badly. Yeah, you can't even carry. You can use hollow points in training and at home, but you cannot carry CCW with hollow points in New Jersey, which is stupid. Hey nerds, what's up, dude? You've been putting out some good videos, man. Put nicely, I'm not a fan of New Jersey. Went there once when I was 14. I'm good. You know, the entire population of New Jersey is made up of people who couldn't figure out how to get out of New Jersey. So that's why New Jersey is the way it is. Thoughts on force reset triggers? Number one, stop capitalizing everything. Number two, whatever. They're legal. They're a waste of money. Yes, you can make your AR-15 go brr. 20 rounds of 5.56 is nearly $20. Why do you want your AR-15 to go brr? I have a binary trigger in my AR-15. Never use it. Ma'am, prefer precision. What's it like, the Trent shotgun, or was it similar to Am I Wrong? Hold on a second. I will get the name of it, and then you guys will have to look it up. I'm not picking up my phone. Sliding breech shotgun. So it was called the Darne, D-A-R-N-E, sliding breech. Hold on, I can probably pull up a picture here. So, you see that? Isn't that kind of cool? So it's a sliding breech shotgun. And I just shut down my computer because I'm a dumbass. Hold on, let me stop it. Stop! This not a Apple, this not a Mac, has the power button on the back. And I'm a dumbass. So you're about to hear my Windows-powered Apple computer go bong. Ooh, that is a pretty good shotgun. Yes, it is. That's badass. Yeah, so some guy had one transferred in. I know it. I didn't own the thing, so give me a second here. This computer's booting up. So I replaced the old hard drive with an SSD, but I put the operating system on the internal SSD, which is stupid, so it takes longer to boot up. Can't read anything. PSA Saber AR-15. What about it? Oh, what's my opinion? I've never played with one, so I don't have an opinion. Anytime, Mr. Computer. Yeah, I got to swap over the SSDs. It's still booting and it's an SSD. This is why I love Apple, who wired their freaking SSD onto the computer. Hey, dude. Mr. Miller time. It's been a while, Mr. X-Ray. What's up? I'm sure it's a hardware check issue between the Windows operating system and the Apple hardware. Just found one in my grandfather-in-law's weapon case with his other weapons he gave me before he passed. Awesome, dude. That's amazing. Have you ever heard of the Benelli Super Black Eagle 3? No, I haven't. Oh, nice. Good for you, Air Max. What? Hold on. Yeah, I didn't understand that anyway. Trying to read small text is really hurting my eyes. Ah, here we go. I call it Mac Nah. Uncle Joe's a stupid fork. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hit the power button, yay. He's a dumbass, yo. He's real stupid, yeah. Can't do anything right. Hit the button, hit the thing, doodly-doo-doo-doo. Got about a half an hour or so while I'm waiting for this crap to load back up. Make sure you hit the like button. You ever heard of the Benelli? Yep. Let's see. Good for you. Been out of it for a bit. Back in the saddle. Nice seeing you. Thank you, sir. You too. Just got a felony. I can't own any guns anymore. Sorry, brain dead. Air Max got the PA non-resident permit. Gotcha. I'm a towel? How am I a towel? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I have literally no lag right now, and I've never seen that happen before. No, it does not limit you, but my New York CCW requires all my guns to be listed on the back of my permit. Ah, so I think Drunk says in California your carry pistols all have to be listed on your permit. Sorry, I know the color's a little washed out, but I have this light on, which seems to be helping my eyes. I'm like Babe Ruth. He said the PA permit was $20. I don't care how cheap it is. I'm not doing paperwork. Tally, you're the worst character ever. So I got a big question. Glock 47, how good is that platform in comparison to other Glocks like the 19X? Well, it's a 19X with a 17 length slide on it. The end. So the Glock 47 is a 17 length slide with a dust cap or dust cover and a cup so that it can take the Glock 19 spring so that it can run on a Glock 45 or a Glock 19 frame. It's a Glock. It's literally a Glock. It doesn't matter. They're all Glocks. They all shoot low left if you've never shot a gun before and you're right-handed. They're all made out of polymer and they work, but they're boring as shit. He was a military veteran, car guy, and a gun guy, and a collector of both. That's awesome, Hunter. My carry pistols LAPD CCW permit and it limits us to 3 firearms. Why are you carrying around that many? Do I have a Glock 19? Yes. You the man, flawless answer. It's hard for me because I like a level of precision in my guns, or the fact is, I really like single action hammer fired metal guns. If we're just going to boil it down to its most basic concept, I like single action hammer fired all metal guns. And the Glock is over touted. It's one of those things. It's like when you're watching YouTube, right? Have you ever binged watch YouTube and you get the same goddamn ad over and over and over? That's all Glock is to me as a gun enthusiast. Glock gets shoved into my face by people that don't understand that, yes, it's a very reliable gun. Yes, it's probably going to save your life. And yes, it will run for a long time, especially if you maintain it. However, they're not that good. I would rather have a 1911 that I work on myself, that I make as reliable as a Glock, and then it runs just as long, just as hard, just as fast. 1911 and Beretta has been America's sidearm for decades and decades. And then SIG, even with their known issues, beat out Glock. Mostly on price, but they beat out Glock. So, New York had no limit, but every time I purchased a new handgun, the judge had to sign and approve. I've heard about that. With the new CA law, you can only legally carry 2 at a time. That is stupid. Why do they allow you to have 3? What's the gun in the frame? Non-firing replica of a Winchester 1886. How do I feel about the P99 now? P99 was an awesome gun. There's 2 different types of triggers in it. You had the safe action and then the DASA. Great guns, led to the entire Canik line being as popular as it is because Canik literally licensed the action from Walther. And so the Canik TP9 line and the Metal line are basically just Walther P99s. I said, Aramex, you guys got it worse than us. Yeah, no kidding. Best trigger upgrade in a Glock, Timney triggers, G-Force, or Steel City Arsenal. I run Steel City Arsenal 3.5 pounds in mine. Why didn't they just upgrade them after every new one instead of make them bigger and supposedly better? Not sure. Have I shot the Smith & Wesson all metal? Yes, I've only shot them. I haven't owned one yet. I don't want to pay their money, the price they're asking. Some counties let you have 6 carry guns. Lol. Well, we don't have a registry. You know what you do? How do you feel about the 917C made from Taurus? Basically, that gun right there. That is a Taurus PT92CD, which is what the 917 basically is. That is a double stack 9mm compact frame Beretta, basically. It's a short barrel Beretta. It's a PT92. So very similar to what you're talking about, 917. Long one tonight. No, only 3 hours. It's just I'm starting later than I originally was, Zaxxon, because all my West Coast people, it was difficult when I start at 7 because you guys would have to jump on between 4 and 7 o'clock, and that wasn't enough time for you guys. So starting at 8 allowed people to get home and still get an hour or 2 of me. Daniel, correct your grammar and send me an email. Your thoughts on the Kel-Tec PR57? Would you buy one? Yes, but just for the absurdity of it. Kel-Tec is the Coke sniffers of the gun world, and I love them. But a magazine, or clip-fed magazine, integrated box mag is hilarious because they wanted to keep it under 1 inch wide. I hope I never have to use it. And that's the point. Detroit, thank you. Appreciate that. Also hit the like button for me. Helps with the algorithm. But yeah, we train to have it and not need it, but have it if we need it. So I don't go and I don't practice shooting at things because I want to be that guy. In fact, the people that are most often the people that will pull out a gun for the wrong reasons are the people that don't train, people that don't have CCWs, people that only keep a gun in their car or keep it at home because they think that they're protected. They don't understand that just because you're angry at a guy for cutting you off doesn't mean you can pull your freaking gun. You don't point your gun at something you're not willing to destroy. You don't pull your gun unless your life or the life of somebody around you is in danger, imminent danger of death. If you're going to get your ass beat because some dude doesn't like you in a bar, take the frickin' beating if you're not man enough to fight. If somebody's able to beat the crap out of me, fine. I'll take the beating. I'll be sore in it for a few days, but I'll be fine. Thoughts on the 226? That's my favorite Sig Sauer. I love the 226. I actually want the 226 X5, but, you know, starting a business. So all that shiz is on the back burner. There was a time where I would just buy whatever gun I wanted to, but nope. It's like a parachute. A little bit. That's the wife calling. Time to roll. Have a good night. Thanks, Rockman. Thank you for checking on me tonight. Joe speaks the truthus. I speak the truthus, and my name ain't Rufus. Don't flash one at me. Oh, okay. You got that right. Thank you. Do you think that scares the same but different insides and round? You think this... I don't understand what you're asking me, Hunter. Can you rephrase that, sir? So, Zaxxon, I didn't buy another Dodge. I bought the Lincoln, which you know about, but the reason I liked the Lincoln I bought was because I was able to program this key fob without having to take it to the dealership. And it does everything that this key fob does. Yeah. Yeah. Because I got to go down to North Carolina to get Stone. It's actually cheaper for me to drive to North Carolina and have Stone program me 2 keys than it would be to go to the dealership and get 2 keys. If you turn the ignition 8 times a program, the funny thing is, it didn't work the first time, so I literally just sat in there and just kept turning the key over and over and over. It took like 14 turns, and then all of a sudden it worked. So obviously I screwed up the count somewhere, but I just kept turning it until it worked. But yeah, but if I wanted to program this key, it wouldn't work. This key would have to be programmed at the dealership. This fob doesn't, which is stupid. Love that program. Yep. Autocorrect. I meant, do you think the scars are the same weapons but different internals for no different, or no for the different type of scars? So if you're talking about the SCAR rifle, I don't know much about them, but most of the people that build their, like, there's an aftermarket company that makes their own version of the SCAR L and the SCAR Heavy. I think they're all basically the same, kind of like the way the Turkish M4s are the same, basically, and there's a lot of parts that are interchangeable. Fob is the same, but no one has a chip that one has a chip that turns a car on. I can program the ignition key, no problem. Drive to Cali. I'm not driving to Cali for shit. If I drive a Lincoln Navigator into California, they'll charge me a tax. Oh, so then why the frick did we always charge people $300 for programming the key? We used to charge them $175 for the key and then an hour to program it. So my dealership was ripping people off. Have I shot the Sidekick 22? No, I haven't, but I'm going to at some point. I'm not a huge 22 fan, but I do respect them. I don't know why I have 3 $1 bills sitting on this desk. So I have 1, 2, 3. And they've been here for like a year. You don't have to take it to the dealership to get it programmed. A local locksmith can do it. Gotcha. Hey, Joe, but if you can come here, you can stop off in Vegas first on your way, and yes, you will get taxed. Hey! I'm not driving to Vegas. That's crazy. I'm in. I'll do it tomorrow. Probably crash halfway there, though. Best full-size 9mm. No. Tools aren't cheap and skill costs money. That's why I'm just friends with a lot of people with skills. I trade my skills for their skills. They trade their skills for my skills. Yeah. Have I ever held the KSG, the double tube KS7? Yes, because that's a KS7. A KSG is just a dual tube. Mrs. Mouse just got home. Hi, Mrs. Mouse. Did you bring some In and Out? I know Drunk wants to get some In and Out, if you get my drift. Also get him an apple pie. I don't know why, but you have to watch the whole live stream back. He was talking about getting an apple pie or a cream pie. Favorite caliber, don't have one. I trade my body for drugs. Hope you get good drugs. I don't know because I can program it and it takes almost 10 minutes. Y'all charge an hour of labor. We used to charge an hour of labor if you told me you had a flat tire and it was just low. I own 4 cars in Cali and can't achieve 15 mile per gallon. Lol, gas sucks. She said she didn't. Lol. In-N-Out Burger has gone completely downhill. Well, especially if you don't live in the valley. You got AR-15s? Sure. Funny, I had In-N-Out for lunch. Walls. So, back to that whole mileage thing. So I'm impressed. So I picked up a 14 Navigator, sold my '08 Dodge Charger. So I have the 14 Navigator, which has the final version of the 5.4 Triton. It's not even close. It's a 3-valve. It's not the original Triton. The intake is completely different. So I've got the 5.4 Triton, but it's got the 6-speed automatic. And with the 6-speed automatic, and it has selectable 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive. So because it does 4x2 and not full-time all-wheel drive, I'm getting the same gas mileage out of my Navigator that I did out of my Charger. Almost 20 miles to the gallon. So I'm impressed. Hey, Evan, what's up? Scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Have you done the one chip challenge? Yes. Go back and watch Friday's live stream. It's the one with the picture of the chip on there. Go to the 1 hour and 4 minute mark. It did not go well, mostly because I had such a bad vertigo moment that I spent time on the floor because I couldn't even stand up. You sold the Charger? I traded it in. So, Triton and 3-valve, bro, you made a bad move. No, it's a 14. It's the end of it. Yeah, I couldn't keep them both. So I got rid of the Charger, got out of it, and my payment only changed by $15 and my insurance only went up by $4. So, and to get as much money as I did out of an '08 Charger was freaking impressive. Yeah, I sold it after I drove down to North Carolina the last time because well, it needed stuff. Flexing? Who's flexing? I'm trying to work with the nerve on the back of my neck if you're talking about that. Wasn't worth it? Oh, no. So I got plenty of money out of the Charger to get me out of the Charger and into the Navigator, so, you know. Because I only owned the Charger for 7 months. Now you can tow more than groceries. Pretty much. That was meant for the dude talking about skills cost, but you did it cheaper. Ah. How much did it cost? A lot. No, I'm just kidding. I don't talk about what I pay for cars. Nick, what's up? Do I have the tinted windows on it? Only the back windows are tinted. I don't really actually care for front tinted windows. I had them on the Charger and they were actually a little annoying because I'm usually wearing sunglasses during the day and with black gauge faces and sunglasses. And if you're familiar with the Navigator's dash, it's very curved, so the cluster set back right away. It would actually cause me to not be able to see it very well. Oh, the key fob? Well, my guy told me to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that the 14 would be able to do it. I thought their computers were different. You rich? Oh, wait, the government took it all. P.S. I'm joking. Yeah, I know you're kidding, Hunter. Tinted fronts are real annoying. It's fine. Like, I ran it in the Charger for 7 months and I never had a desire to pull them out. But, like, during the day, that car wearing sunglasses, it was actually difficult for me to see some of the digits on the Speedo. Meant to tune in last Friday. How are you and the folks doing? Well, my parents are going for a nice long cruise again because apparently when you retire, you have a selection of things you're allowed to do. You're allowed to drive around the country ambling in an RV. You're allowed to go on a bunch of friggin' cruises. Or you sit and complain about all the youngsters being in racing up and down your street. So my parents chose cruises. Was it a little broken? No, it just needed things. So it was an ex-cop car. It was an '08 Hemi, which is the reason I bought it in the first place, because it was a reasonably priced Hemi Charger. I had the Hemi. I had a '15 Durango, and I traded that, or excuse me, I sold the Durango and bought the Charger because I was paying like I bought the Durango during COVID, so I was paying like $600 a month, and it was too much. I didn't want to pay that much, so I sold a friend of mine the Durango, and I got out of it. I lost $1,500, but that's not a bad loss, especially considering that 3 months after I sold it to him, it was worth about half. So I bought the Charger, and I put SRT interior into it. I put 2012 Challenger wheels on it and just kind of upgraded it, put an SRT wing, did the muffler delete, put a new grill, things like that in it. And it needed servicing and stuff I didn't feel like doing. I've never been on a cruise. Have they ever taken you? They keep offering, and I keep saying no. I'm going to be on the boat that goes down. I have my truck windows tinted because of my children. I mean, if you like it, you like it. But dude that was talking about backing up at night, dude, I fully do that. I have to put my window down in the Charger when I was doing it. No politics. They're slightly frowned upon. I just don't want to be the channel that creates chaos. You know what I mean? Got pricey glass, which is tinted in all the back windows, 15% in the front. You got privacy glass, gotcha. How did you manage to do that? What do you mean? How did I manage to do what? Change everything up? I was a mechanic and a body shop owner for 15 years, and I sold cars for 20 years. How's the store going? I saw you're making some solid progress. Well, with my dizziness, fainting spells, and vertigo that I've been suffering from, I haven't been doing a whole lot. So, also, I'm blowing a lot of money on meds and tests right now, so that slowed me down a bit. But we'll be fine. Can I ask you, do you say what's up, or hi, or hello? Usually it's hey. It's either hey or how's it going? What are you going to do with your dad's motor now that you don't have anything to put it in? I'll rebuild it and I'll buy something to put it in. I'd like to go on a cruise. You should. Pistol with the wood grip. That is the Taurus PT92 Compact D Cocker model. Is that your gun store delivery truck come tax time? Well, so you could do actual like depreciation, maintenance, all this stuff, deductibles for the end of the year for your vehicle, or you can just take a mileage deduction, which is actually much more beneficial. I took a mileage deduction for last year, and I got like a $7,000 deduction just because of the mileage. I have a camera that helps me back up. I don't trust cameras. I'm old school. I've been driving since the mid-90s, and cameras can give you a false sense of security about your surroundings and shit. I had a 2016 F-150. I've had since 2017 or 2018, I've had like 11 cars. I go through cars like you probably do underwear. But I had a 2016 F-150, really nice one. Had the camera. I was backing up down a driveway, but it didn't see a branch from a tree. And because I was just using the camera, the branch hit my rear taillight and broke a taillight, and it had reverse sensors, so it was like an $800 taillight. So I don't trust my cameras. I trust my eyes. Most reliable vehicle in your opinion? Any vehicle I've ever owned. I've never personally, and I've had probably 70 cars, I've never had one that had a catastrophic failure of the mechanical system because I maintain my cars. Especially since like late 90s. Late 90s was a freaking grenade factory when it comes to cars. When you get into the mid 2000s, they get a lot better. After 2007, believe it or not, when the government started stepping in, mandating traction control, dual airbags, blah, 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 they got a lot better. People like to say that the new Kias and Hyundais are grenades. People will tell you that a Range Rover out of warranty is a grenade. If you religiously maintain those cars that have problems, they're better. However, there are some that, regardless of what you do, can explode, like a Nissan Titan with a Cummins engine. For some reason, they just destroy themselves, probably because they're all DEF fluided up. And it's like when we had smog equipment in the 80s. Those cars were all shiz. Not a great idea to pass out while working in a gun store. Yes, that's why I'm keeping it closed, only by appointment. Best car you have? Have or have had. I've had a lot of really cool shiz, but nothing right now. All I have is a Navigator. Gun on top is a KS7. Cruisers are expensive and kind of scary being stuck on a boat. So my mom, my stepmom, my mom, I call her mom, she is like the queen of deals. She has cruises booked out for like 2 years because of the discounted price. And they're still using money they got back from COVID cruises. So they booked cruises that were canceled during COVID. And when they canceled the COVID cruise, you got like 150% of the cost of the cruise back towards another cruise. So they've been living it up. Plus, during COVID, when stocks tanked for Royal Caribbean, they bought like a ton of Royal Caribbean stock. So they did well. It's a way to go then on mileage. Yeah, exactly. The cameras are my eyes, to be honest. If you trust them, great. I just don't. What's the best budget gun in your eyes? Best budget guns would be a CZP-10. There, you can usually find them for under $400. I don't like to say budget and good in the same sentence, so about $400 is where you want to be. Canik, Meta SFT, about $400. CZP-10F or P10C at about $400. Those are probably my favorites. Of course, Zaxxon would say that. Maintenance is always cheaper than paying a repair due to negligence. As a shop mechanic, I can say that I haven't seen bad brands, just bad motors. Yeah, and since the 90s too, when everything was designed on computers, in the early 90s is when they switched from building things, testing it, reiterating, and building new versions of it. They went all to CAD design. Like Chrysler did that with their 3.5 and the 2.7. Frickin' the 2.7 was a terrible engine, but the 3.5 at least had a timing belt and non-interference engine. But the minute they started doing that, everything became infinitely more complicated because they were like, oh, well, we can millimeter stick this with this through here to save space once it's in the car. However, to get this off, you now have to disassemble the entire front of the engine to get this off. So rather than making something easy to work on, they worried about space constraints, and that was it. So cars have gotten infinitely more difficult. Plus, nowadays, with all their different modules, you have a BCM, ECM, PCM, TCM, seat control modules, radio control modules that are separate from your body control module, your ignition control module, your freaking air quality control sensor modules. You know, you can have 15 to 20 modules in your cars. They suck. So I'm more worried about the electronic parts of cars. That's why I tend to have a limit to the years I'm willing to buy cars on, because my Charger, anything breaks, I can fix it with a hammer and a pair of scissors. You know, a new Lexus, eat me. Chrysler 2.7, engines, downfall where they're undersized, oil passages, sludge killed them quick. You know what we used to do to all the Durangos that had 4.7s is we would pull the oil pan and replace the oil pickup, and we would put a bigger mesh screen around the oil pickup. We would take out the internal screen and we would literally put a new pickup screen around the entire oil pickup. The 3.2 and the 3.5 were actually pretty solid engines. Again, if you kept them religiously maintained. Have you ever seen, Zaxxon, you know what I'm going to be talking about, the 3.6 Chevy motors in all the Camaros, how they get all sludged up because, let's face it, V6 Camaro owners are trash, which is also why I don't buy V6 sports cars, because they literally were never maintained. No offense, I'm profiling, but if you own a V6 sports car that had an option for a V8, like if you own a V6 Challenger, V6 Charger, V6 300, 4-cylinder 200, or anything of the like, because you were too freaking cheap to afford a good version of a car, you're trash when it comes to maintenance. I sold cars for 20 years. I'm not wrong. But yeah, Chevys sludge up like a motherfather. There's lots of guns behind me, sir. If you want to pick one or two, I'll drop names, but I'm not going through all of them, sir. One of the reasons people say the small block Chevy is so good, because they are better at tolerating less maintenance than the 4-cam chain-driven freaking remote oil sump V6 that makes 340 horsepower. The one with the good grips, wood grips, is the Taurus PT92 compact with the decocker module. Magnum Research Desert Eagle 357 6-inch stainless 9-1 with the plastic backstop. Should I change it to something else? What, the grip? No idea, dude. I don't play with them too often. The last one I had was just a standard grip 50 cal. Bottom rifle. The bottom rifle is the Tanfoglio Appeal 22 bullpup. Vehicle that's the best bang for your buck. Something used that you can pay for in cash, but honestly, it depends on what you're looking to do, man. Do you need a truck, an SUV, a car? Like, I will never own a mid-2000s Chevy product. Sorry, I won't, because of the advanced track system. I got stranded because I was driving a Saturn something or other. It was the sedan, so it was the Aura, I think. And it had the advanced track bullshit, and when the ABS light came on, the car goes into limp mode because your ABS doesn't work. So I got stranded and I had to pay $200 to tow the car back to the dealership because I didn't feel like bypassing the shit because I didn't have a computer with me. You have the PT99. Nice. I'm about to crash for the night. Good luck. Yeah, we're almost done. 4 more minutes. Appreciate it. What's your thought on the Smith & Wesson 10mm? Which one, my guy? Gotta be if you're talking about the M&P, it's a great choice, great gun. If you're talking about, like, I think they have a revolver that fires 10 mil, or if we're just talking about the M&P, great choice, dude. Mine's stainless, but I don't think I should keep the stock grip for it. It's a big grip gun, so it depends on what you're looking to do with the grip. If you're gonna go with a bigger grip, I don't know what ELR is, so I can probably figure it out, but no, I would have to say no since I don't. Yeah, the M&P is a great choice in 10 mil. Feels good in the hand. They shoot exceptionally well. Just an A to B vehicle, used cheap, good gas mileage, preferably 4x4 or all-wheel drive. So cheap is always going to be a problem because cheap will always either indicate that you're going to buy a good vehicle with problems that's cheap because it was a good vehicle until it had problems, or if you're just talking about you just want to be cheap on something, get an old, Tundra or an old Tacoma, but they're not cheap when they're good. So if you want something in an old 4x4, find an old Jeep with the 4-liter inline 6. As long as you keep the oil changed in those things will go 300,000 miles. Any chance of Curio and Relic 12 gauges? If I come across any, I'll let you know. Can't go wrong with the 5.3 liter LS. Well, yeah, but technically it's not really an LS. The 5.3 is an L99. Shares a lot of components and things with an LS, but it's not a true LS motor. But I get what you're saying. You're saying the 5.3 is just a great one to go with. Using the term cheap loosely because of how expensive vehicles are nowadays. You'd be surprised, depending on where you live. Like here in Virginia, I'll just tell you. So I bought a 2014 Navigator L limited edition with just over 100,000 miles for just about 10 grand ish. So prices have come down a lot because a year and a half ago, or right near the end of the COVID pricing before the lots got flooded, that same truck would have been about 24 grand. You are quite a ways away from me. I am in Northern Virginia near Winchester. 5.3 is iron block, iron head meant for trucks. The LSs are tuned for the sports cars and have aluminum heads. Honda CR-Vs are great for reliable all-wheel drive practicality on a budget. If they go for a fair price in your area, CR-Vs go for more than my Lincoln did. And I'm talking about 2011s, 2010s. They're still selling over 10 grand here in Virginia. Do I like the KSG? It's a KS7, single tube only, and no. Bullpup shotguns don't make any sense. Why do you want the action next to your head? I understand that when you're shooting a shotgun, you are kind of putting your head down close-ish, but literally the action, the spent shell, all the gases are coming out literally right next to your face. I don't like that. Also, the thump sucks. CR-Vs, no way. So if you get a good CR-V, if you can find a manual all-wheel drive with the VTEC engine, you'd be all right. You never shot a bullpup. So imagine taking your shotgun and giving it a terrible trigger and making it thump harder into your shoulder. Because a bullpup, also the action being right there, means that literally the entire bolt is slamming directly into the butt pad of the gun, so you don't have a large stock in the way. Any CRV is decent, axle vibrations forever, but decent, yeah. Damn, except Chrysler Sebring, to change a battery, you have to take the driver's front tire off to change a battery. There's other vehicles that do that too. But yes, the Sebring, the Cirrus, the Stratus, the Avengers, the Chrysler 200. Yeah, they all did that. All I know is that they suck and they come in a lot. Because of the typical buyer of a CRV. Sorry, it's profiling again, but CRV owners are trash. They either maintain them well because they're 800 years old and they're going to pass them down to their grandkids, or they're the grandkids and they're just trash. So are Tacomas from any year good, or any specific years I should look at? Avoid the new stuff, but anything from like 16 older. Sorry. I profile a lot when I sold cars, but I never actually did it to the customer. Like, when somebody wanted to negotiate, I'd think of all their possible bitching and responsives, and then I would just fucking stand in a room for a few minutes and handle them all, and then I would go back and sell the vehicle. So yeah, I am going to judge you, but I'm not going to say it to your face. But you guys are trash. What do you think is a better choice, A2 irons or flip-up irons with a red dot? I prefer the flip-ups because it gives you more options for what you can do. Hondas are good cars, but their ignitions go out like crazy because their owners are trash. I own Fords and Chevy pickups for years. Fords you don't have to work on as much as Chevy, but you'll wish you were working on a Chevy when you're working on a Ford. Yes, I love how to work on the back few cylinders on the Navigator engine. You have to take the body off the truck. We used to frickin' bash in the firewall on used Navigators, because if you remember, the 5.4 Tritons were popping their spark plugs directly into the fuel rails for a while, and that was pretty much all the 99, 2000, 2001 Navigators. So we would buy them when they had small engine fires, replace the hood, put a new engine in it. But we got tired of taking the body off the vehicles because we had in-ground post lifts, so we couldn't lift them the same way they could with more modern lifts. Our dealership was an old one. So literally my guy figured out how to beat the shit out of the firewall just enough to get the engines in without damaging the windshield wipers. What do you mean? Yeah, I love working on my Nissan. Yeah, paid $4.15 a gallon for regular gas yesterday at Costco. Paid $2.69 here in Virginia. That's why you got to come here. The 4-thread heads were so annoying. Also, a big reason why all these Navigators and shiz were popping their spark plugs, because this was like in 2005, 2006, was because Ford said that the spark plugs were lifetime spark plugs or 100,000 mile spark plugs. But what people didn't understand was you still needed to check them to make sure that they weren't backing out. Chevys, remember the Quad 4s? The Pontiac Grand Ams, the Chevy Cobalts, the Chevy Cavaliers with the dual overhead cam Quad 4, they used to pop their spark plugs out all the time. They would just back out the threads and pop up into the ignition pack. So the pack was holding the spark plugs down, so it sounded like the engines had a knock. I used to buy those all the time at auction because all they were, we'd take out the 4 bolts that held the ignition pack down, the coil pack down, and you tighten the spark plugs back down, and the engines were perfect. What do I think of the Canik MC9 LS? It's too expensive for what it is, but it's a nice gun. Spark plugs is worth more than the car. Yeah, but you know how much money I'd make off those cars? I'd buy them for a few $100 and sell them for a few grand. So if you can 10x your money just because somebody's stupid. Yeah, and because I changed the way I'm sitting, I think this is part of my problem. Sitting dead on helps out a lot. So I'm going to talk to my doctor about the ocular thing. Because if I'm looking at an angle, it affects me a lot more. So I am now a news anchor. Welcome to the channel Joe News. So it's 11 o'clock. We're going to be ending. You're building a 79 K5 Blazer. Nice, dude. Go ahead and hit that like button if you hadn't. We'll stay on for another minute. Can we get to 100? Can you guys get me to 100? That looks good to YouTube when in 3 hours I get 100 likes. Top of that, the aluminum head's cooled a lot different. Text back when they were probably used to the golden manuals. Ford said let them cool, but people were rolling, wrench, roll out. Yep. Why escort over the KSG? No, I wouldn't, which blew the threads out. Yeah, that makes sense, Ligma. So yeah, if you guys can do me a big favor, just hit the like button. It shows YouTube, hey, Google, hey man, this guy actually engages with the audience. He gets the likes. He gets people interested in two-way community bullshit. Sorry, I didn't mean to call it that. But it gets people interested, and then we can advance the channel that way. So you mother fathers are my favorite, and I appreciate that. What do I think about the Coyote 5.0? It's my favorite modern Ford engine. I like it better than the 6.2. I like it better than the 7.3 Godzilla. Probably my favorite engine. It was the first new car I bought was a 2014 Track Pack Mustang with the all the oil coolers and shit. So it had an 11.5 quart 5.0. Love that engine. Peace. Nice tuning in. Redneck, thank you. Got you. Thank you, Hector. Me too. Super efficient. Dude, yeah, I love that engine. That was an amazing engine. I love that car. I wish I had never sold it. I almost bought one. So I kept telling myself, I need an SUV or a truck. I need an SUV or a truck. Stone knows this. I was talking to him about it. I need the SUV or a truck. Yet the dealership I bought the Lincoln from had a 2012 Mustang Track Pack with full Kooks headers, SLP loudmouth exhaust, short throw shifter, brand new stage 3 clutch, JLT intake, had a tune on it, full cat skin interior for the same price, and I almost bought it. But that's where you guys come in. So you guys liking the videos, again, getting me more airtime, more play, will allow Google to pay me more so that I can buy a sports car that I want come summer. As an older hand, I keep loving the 4-valve 4.6. 4-valve 4.6 is nice. Do I stream daily? Nope. When it comes to the streaming, I do it Mondays and Fridays from 8 to 11. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck's going on with me. I'm probably going to start doing it on Wednesday again because I can't work a second job while passing out. So obviously I'm not doing it now. So Mondays and Fridays right now from 8 p.m. Eastern till 11 p.m. Eastern. So that's what we'll be doing. So we're done. Thank you guys so much. Hit the like on your way out. Come back on Monday. We'll see if my doctor has found anything since then, and we'll have some more fun. So I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you later. Zaxxon fam, everybody. Have a good one. Talk to you later. I'm going to hit this button, burp, and